against the Red Sox offense. We'll make the tag on Damon sliding in for the first out of the inning. Nice play by Zeile.
Boy, you watch Todd Zeile. He was like a cat because he knows how hard and fast that Damon can run. I mean, he pounced on that baseball, got it in his glove. Watch this. How quickly and aggressively he pursues that ball so he can put the tag on Damon. Nice play by Zeile.
Zeile playing first today. Giambi is the DH. Pitch to Bill Miller is a breaking ball strike. Andy Pettitte, in the longest losing streak of his career, he's lost 4 straight starts, all here in May. The most he's ever lost in a calendar month was 4. So trying to stop setting a new record, one he'll try to avoid desperately.
We mentioned in the pregame show, Andy coming off his last start really muscled the ball in the last start. Was more of a thrower than a pitcher, and I think he'll try to change that tonight.
Well, Joe Torre said before the game that he was disappointed in Pettitte. You see the stats, the difference between April and May. He said that Andy's last start, he simply did not have a plan. He said, and that's unacceptable. He said, you have to have a plan out there. Strike 3 outside corner, Miller down looking.
Pretty good plan right there. That's the best pitch in baseball. Low and away. Posada right there to frame it, and Miller caught looking. Outside corner. Toughest pitch to reach.
Roger Clemens had his try at 300 yesterday, could not do it, battled through 133 pitches, but came away with the loss. Garciaparra rips it foul.
Bobby and I were talking before the game. Roger had great stuff. In fact, the Red Sox say that they thought his stuff was better yesterday than in Fenway. And what, 23 of the 29 batters, he got to a 2-strike count. He just couldn't seem to put anybody away.
Yeah, he gave up 8 hits on that 2-strike count. They actually just bled him to death, basically. I mean, they fought, they clawed, and they hung in there with those at-bats and finally got a pitch to hit. I mean, this guy right here, Garciaparra, we were talking about Roger Clemens before, but Garciaparra, if I was a pitcher, I would never throw anything close to the strike zone for Garciaparra. I'd always make him hit something bad.
The 0-2. Andy tried right there.
And the reason I say that is because Garciaparra, as you take a look, Clemens and his line as he lost to the Red Sox yesterday, Garciaparra being such a free swinger. I mean, he'll swing at almost anything that he thinks he can get his bat on.
And the 1-2 from Pettitte. Foul back.
And Bobby, from a pitcher standpoint, what you're talking about, if you get a guy like Garciaparra, 2 strikes, the 2 zones that you try to work are over the plate, but way down or way up because of that reason. You know, anything that he can see, he's going to swing at. With 2 strikes, it doesn't have to be in the strike zone.
The 1-2. Low.
I think the pitch from a hitter standpoint, especially when you get 2 strikes on him and you have a free swinger like Garciaparra is, they're more apt to swing at the high pitch than they are the low pitch.
Yeah, we don't see that pitch used a lot. Roger tried one yesterday, it got away from him. That pitch up in the hitter's eyes looks so good, and yet it's the toughest pitch to catch up with.
And the 2-2 pitch. Foul back. Garciaparra, 26-game hitting streak, and during that streak, 41 for 110. That's good for 373. See the numbers right there. His longest hitting streak in his career was 30 straight. And that was in 1997, the 2-2. Strike 3 outside corner. A backdoor breaking ball by Pettitte. Garciaparra not in love with the call. But the Yankees certainly in love with Andy Pettitte's first inning. Take a look at strike 3. Whispered on the outside corner. Red Sox 3 up, 3 down. Yankees coming to bat. Well, today he's wearing the Yankee colors, the Yankee silks. Jose Santos, the jockey for Funnyside, and Funnyside has won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. And right before Andy Pettitte began his warm-ups, Jose Santos up and away, but he got the ball to home plate for the first pitch here at Yankee Stadium. And on June 7th, he will try to complete the first Triple Crown since affirmed, and that was 25 years ago.
Hope he does.
Think he will?
What do you think, Kitty?
Got a good shot at it.
Yeah, he's just to win. Here's the Yankees starting lineup against Bruce Chen, Jeter, Matsui, and Soriano at the top of the lineup. In the middle, the slumping Giambi, the DH catcher Jorge Posada, the right fielder Raul Mondesi. In the bottom third of the order, Robin Ventura at third, Juan Rivera, the left fielder, and Todd Zeile plays first. And batting third in his career, Soriano is 5 for 12. Here's Jeter, the leadoff batter for the Yankees against Bruce Chen. Chen filled in last week for Pedro Martinez. So making his second start as Martinez has gone on the DL. And the first pitch to Jeter is a strike.
There's the line that Michael's talking about. One start, 19 innings, 3 home runs. The scouting report on Bruce Chen. He is only 25 years old, yet this is his 7th team that he's been with. The Atlanta Braves drafted him in and out of the big leagues the last 7 years. Best pitch, he has a good changeup.
And the 0-2 fouled away.
That was pretty wimpy. He is going to win the Triple Crown. I got to be a little more committed than that. I think we're going to have a Triple Crown. I thought we were going to have a Triple Crown winner, and it would be Empire Maker. And he is the biggest threat to him. He's training very well right now, but I sure hope Santos and the funny side of the New York connections pull it off.
Finally got off the fence, didn't he?
Yeah, that was weak. Mentioned in the scouting report, when you're Bruce Chen and you're a lefty, you've been with 7 teams, you say, you know, there's got to be something wrong. There's nothing wrong with his arm. He just hasn't consistently been getting people out. But when you're left-handed, you give a lot of chances.
That one is tomahawk to left field and deep. Going back, Ramirez on the track at the wall. See ya! Home run, Derek Jeter to lead off the first, and the Yankees are up 1-0.
Well, the offense for the Yankees that has been sputtering here of late. That ball up and a little bit in. That's really unusual for Derek Jeter to be swinging and tomahawking, as you mentioned, Michael, a pitch out of the ballpark. His power mostly is to right center field.
Here's Hideki Matsui, and he fouls it back.
Bobby, that'll give you some insight into Chen's fastball. Because if you try to get in on a right-hand hitter with 2 strikes and he can pull it, that means there's not a lot of zip on that ball.
Jeter actually had a good pitch to hit with 2 strikes on him about 2 pitches before he hit that ball out of the ballpark, and he found it back and out of play. A lot of times when you're going bad and you do get your pitch,
That one's driven to right center field by Matsui. Going back is Damon, and he'll make the play on the warning track in front of the 385-foot sign for the first out of the inning. Now here's Alfonso Soriano, who Jeter stole a page from Soriano's book. First pitch that Chen threw last weekend in Boston. Here's what Soriano did. So as Yogi would like to say, deja vu all over again.
pretty good teacher.
Not bad. So Soriano seems ensconced in the number 3 role right now until Bernie Williams comes back.
Catch that, Bobby? Ensconced.
I got it.
That's his big word for the day. Usually get 1 or 2 a day.
That's a small one. I'll give a big one. Now, Bernie Williams did undergo surgery today, and they said it was a successful surgery, and he should be back in about 6 weeks. I've always laughed at that, though, when they say successful surgery. No doctor's ever come out and said, oh, did I mess that up?
Right. And 6 weeks is another thing. You know, everybody heals different. Jimmy Key used to bounce back from surgery unbelievably quick. Everybody rehabs and bounces back differently.
Well, the great thing about that is that Bernie will be back somewhere in that area time frame, and the Yankees certainly will be happy when Bernie comes back here. I don't think there's anybody in this lineup that sets the lineup up any better offensively than Bernie Williams. And when he's out, it kind of throws everything out of kilt.
Ground ball at third. Hillenbrand gobbles it up, 2 away. Now Chen will square off against Jason Giambi.
Well, Kitty was talking about Chen and the mediocre fastball, and his best pitch actually being his changeup. I think from a hitter standpoint, when you know, and the Yankees have already faced him at least one time, so they've got a little bit of an idea about what his speed is on his fastball and his changeup. You got to be a little bit more patient. I don't think you can be as aggressive on a guy that really doesn't throw that well, and look for zones. I mean, when you're not hitting well, you almost have to look for a zone until you get the pitch in that zone.
That was Derek Lowe and yesterday's winning pitcher Tim Wakefield in the Red Sox dugout. Yeah, a hitter has to have a game plan as much as a pitcher does.
Hit sharply and past Ortiz into right field. So Giambi with a 2-out single. Ortiz not showing much range there.
Getting an early indication of why Bruce Chen has had 7 opportunities. You see Jeter pulled the ball sharply. Matsui hit it a good distance, and Giambi smokes this one past Ortiz. Obviously not enough deception or speed, and easy for the hitters to pick up the ball.
One indication, watch Giambi. He is full just a little bit, but he waits on it, and he saw it clearly, and that's one of the things that Giambi's been doing. He's been way out in front and not able to wait on the pitch.
Here's Posada. He has also struggled this homestand, 1 for 13. And the pitch is swung and missed. Posada's average is dipped to 258. Leads the team with 12 home runs, though. And the 0-1. There's
Bobby, you mentioned the Yankees missing Bernie, and behind the numbers with Bernie is the fact that he's a cleanup hitter who's a switch hitter who is a batting champion, and he has some speed. And that's one thing this Yankee team, you know, when you look at Posada and Giambi and Zeile and Ventura, it's a station-to-station team.
That one's punched out to right field. Millar puts it away for the final out of the inning. But the Yankees get on the board because of that man, Derek Jeter, in the leadoff spot. Jeter gets some luck from Don Zimmer and then delivers. He hits his 2nd home run of the year. We played 1-0 Yankees.
Well, tonight after the postgame on Yes, join my colleague Michael Kay. He'll sit down with Yankees great Don Mattingly on the premiere of a special Center Stage. Find out what Donnie Baseball has to say about his days as a player and his love for the Yankees on Center Stage. Don Mattingly premiering tonight after the postgame only on Yes. And I know that's a good one.
One little tidbit, Kitty?
2 or 3 if you got them.
Do you know who made way for Don Mattingly to go on the Yankee roster? I'll give you a clue. It's somebody in the booth.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Bobby Murcer made it all possible.
Yep.
He made a lot of things possible.
I made the broadcasting possible by letting Don Mattingly go. It's amazing what you'll do when you're told to do it.
Yeah.
Here's Manny Ramirez to lead up the 2nd. The 1-0. There's a strike. Now, you were in the broadcasting booth the next day, right?
That night.
That night.
I retired in the afternoon, and that night I was up at the booth with Bill White, Frank Messer, the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto.
Wow.
Mattingly was playing.
And the 1-1 to Ramirez. Low.
Bobby retired 7 years too late for me, because the other thing that he made happen, he made me run right from the mound in Candlestick Park to the clubhouse with 2 out in the 9th inning. He had a walk-off home run to beat me.
Kitty, you were a part of that because you didn't want to stay out there, that cold, windy, blustery sand blowing in your face.
Ground ball right back to Pettitte. Nice play. 1 away.
Helps to be 6'5". That the area in front of home plate is almost like AstroTurf. Boy, is it hard. Look at the high bounce. And Andy had to use all of his height once he snagged it. Plenty of time to get Ramirez.
Here's Kevin Millar, and the backdoor breaking ball is a strike. Looks like Pettitte has a pretty good curveball early.
Well, one thing, his pace between pitches. I mean, that's where he made a big improvement a few years ago. He got a little lethargic with his motion. And he and his dad, Tom, looked at it on video, and all of a sudden he started getting the ball, and here we go. And he's a much better pitcher. You know, you study long, you study wrong. You get the ball back and say, fastball, curveball change, make up your mind, boom, and go.
And the 0-2. You know, you always hear those stories. If a guy's in a slump, he does go back to Dad. Is Dad the best teacher because he was there when the pitching motion and the swing was developed?
For some. I mean, my dad was a great supporter, but it had nothing to do with really teaching me the pitch or anything from a playing standpoint.
I think once you've reached a certain level anyway, you know, hitting instructors, pitching coaches, etc., they basically become Dad and Mom. They become that security blanket for you. You just like to bounce things off of them. You know, one of the things that's always been a part of Andy Pettitte's arsenal is that ground ball left side. He's only induced one ground ball for a double play in the last 5 outings. And he really relies on the left side of his infield. But we haven't seen that ground ball too much from Pettitte. He's been more of a fly ball pitcher.
And that would indicate to me that he's overthrowing, and that's a tendency when you're not successful. You grip the ball tighter, you want to throw harder, and his strength is that nice moving fastball down and away and get the ground ball.
1-2. Swung and a miss. He strung him out. High fastball. Third strikeout for Pettitte. 2 away here in the second.
Good job of moving it around. You see Posada move in and up. And we talked about that in the first inning. That pitch up in the hitter's eyes looks so good, but it's the toughest pitch to catch up with.
Toughest pitch to hit solidly. You can't get on top of it, but like you said, the hitter actually picks the ball up earlier than he does the ball that's down low, so consequently they're apt to swing at that high pitch a lot more.
Here's David Ortiz. Fouled off.
David, a left-hand hitter in the lineup, because we mentioned the league hitting .300 against Andy, but Ortiz has tremendous numbers against Andy Pettitte. He's up there .455. 11 trips to the plate. He's got 5 hits.
Well, we just researched that game where Bobby had the walk-off home run. 1-0 Giants. The winner was Ed Halicki.
I remember it well.
Jim Kaat got the loss. Game time, a manageable 1 hour and 32 minutes.
Hey, Kitty.
Like Bobby said,
that's a long game for Kitty. I can tell you that for
like
sure.
Bobby said in Candlestick Park, you didn't want to stay out there any longer than you had to, unless you had a parka with you.
When I saw the 9th inning, that's when I really started focusing, you know.
Well, only 7,300 people were at Candlestick that night, so they got to get home early.
That was a big crowd.
And the 1-2. 2-2. One 1-0 Yankees on Derek Jeter's leadoff home run in the first inning against Bruce Chen. And the 2-2. A high fly ball. Shallow right center field. Matsui puts it away for the final out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down. 6 in a row for Andy Pettitte. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Yankees 1, Red Sox 0. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Wednesday, June 11th, the first 18,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Yankees Super 6 baseball card pack, courtesy of French's Mustard. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Tomorrow night at 10:30, catch the premiere of the Yes Network special, The Rivalry That Ruth Built. It's an inside look at one of the most historic and long-standing rivalries in sports, the one you're watching right now, the Yankees and the Red Sox. From the curse of the Bambino to Bucky Dent's home run to Clemens against Pedro. Here's the whole story. Don't miss the premiere of The Rivalry That Ruth Built. Tomorrow night at 10:30, only on Yes. And there's the rivalry. The last 5 years, the Yankees have finished first, the Red Sox second. Never before in the history of baseball has that happened. Same two teams finishing in that order. Right now, it's reversed here on May 28th. May 27th. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That doesn't look like right up the top of the stadium here.
Pretty much this time of the year, that's the way it's been.
Yeah.
Last year at this time, both of these teams had 4 fewer wins. I'm sorry, the Red Sox did. The Yankees had 4 more. But the Yankees were still a game out of first place.
3-0 to Mondesi, who has won for his last 12. Ventura's on deck. 1-0 Yankees, bottom of the second inning. And the 3-0. Taking all the way, 3-1. You know, one thing that doesn't make sense about Chen, and Jim has detailed it slightly, in that he's played for 7 teams. He's 25 years old. And the 3-1 hit sharply into the seats. Well, my question is, you're 25 years old, you throw left-handed, you're healthy. How does that many teams give up on you? How?
You see that line drive that just went into the stands? That's why he just hasn't gotten anybody out. You know, he's going to he's pursuing a degree at Georgia Tech in electrical engineering. Bright kid, native of Panama. But I think because he's healthy, every team will, well, maybe we can find something. So far, nobody has.
3-2. Rounded off the glove of Hillenbrand. That'll be an E5. Mondesi's going for 2. The throw by Garciaparra in plenty of time. Bad gamble by Mondesi. So that's an E5, and he's out trying to stretch 6-4.
Nice to be aggressive, but that was a little too aggressive with nobody out.
Easy play for Hillenbrand at third base. He got the right hop. He was in position. He never got the glove down. And what was going to be a break for the Yankees. Obviously, Mondesi has been aggressive all year long and has hustled and been the most consistent player of this Yankee ball club. But that was a little bit too aggressive right there.
Here's Ventura. Hit deep to right field. There, it's gone. It is gone. A home run. Robin Ventura into the lower porch in right field. Yankees lead 2-0.
Well, you mentioned, Michael, how does that many teams give up on him? You're seeing now in the early part of this game, Bruce Chen has yet to take the ball off the fat of the bat.
Pitch to Juan Rivera, swung on a miss. Now that is your typical Yankee Stadium home run. Right down the line into the short porch. Not many ballparks in the big leagues would that be out, but it's out here at the stadium. 8th home run of the year for Ventura.
I know some guys that missed that in 74 and 75. That 314 down there, because what was it at Shea?
Well, it was 296 before that.
And then in Shea,
like 330 or something, and the ball didn't travel at Shea Stadium.
76th home run for the Yankees as a team. They're 3rd in the major leagues behind the Rangers and the Reds. Lofted to right field. Millar. 2-away.
And that's going to be a fun matchup. Interleague play starts next week. The Yankee pitchers were taking batting practice today, but that Cincinnati team with Adam Dunn and Austin Kearns, Ken Griffey Jr. seems to be getting a little healthier, and they can hit some home runs. Be a good matchup.
Here's some of that pitcher BP that Kitty was talking about.
Look at that.
I tell you, Mel was getting it up there pretty good.
I wonder how many at-bats Mariano will have.
Yeah.
Todd Zeile takes a pitch inside.
Going to be fun because the Yankees also moved to Wrigley Field for the first time. And since 1938, as a matter of fact. You talk about pitching, they got some guys that could get that ball up there in a hurry. Gary Wood, Mark Pryor, Farnsworth out of the bullpen.
How about that Saturday matchup they have planned? Clemens against Wood. Not too bad.
There's a couple of days off in there, so it has to be a little cooperative weather as well.
That Saturday is also going to be very special at Wrigley Field because, again, I'll give you a clue, Kitty. There's somebody in the booth that's singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It's not me. I don't think it's you.
No.
It's not Shankman. It's that man.
Get a little tape of that.
Yeah. I got to work on the lyrics.
Now, have you been practicing at all?
Well, of course I have.
Those not familiar with why, since the passing of Harry Carey, of course, that was a tradition at Wrigley Field. The Cubs have brought back some of their former stars. My good friend and former teammate Bruce Sutter went back and did that. And they've used celebrities from other than just baseball.
Yeah. So. Movies, music. The Kong was there. Kingman also sang "Take Me Out
Probably
the Ball
Bill
Game.
Murray's big Cub fan.
Murray's done it.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Now, there's going to be one thing that dictates whether or not you get a big hand, and that'll be one of the final stanzas. Is it going to be root for the Yankees?
You'll have to wait and find out.
Boy, you're going to get booed.
Been booed before.
The 1-0. There's a strike to Jeter. Jeter with the leadoff home run in the first inning, his second of the year. Zeile's on first via the walk. 2 outs. Hit sharply to short. Bobbled by Garciaparra. He still gets Zeile at second for the final out of the inning. Yankees get another run. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left. That 1 hit. First pitch, Robin Ventura goes to short porchway, and he picks up his 8th home run of the year. Mondesi can only watch. 2-0 Yankees. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Thursday afternoon, June 12th, the first 18,000 fans, 21 and over, will receive a Yankee CD holder courtesy of Microsoft. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness.
The greatest curse in sports.
There's no greater theater than Yankees Red Sox.
The greatest comeback in sports.
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent.
The greatest rivalry in sports. The rivalry that Ruth built. Premieres tomorrow at 10:30 only on Yes.
Well, clearing skies over Yankee Stadium. Yankees lead 2-0. We head to the top of the third. We have a special guest in the booth, a former member of the Red Sox and the Yankees. A good old left-hander, Mickey McDermott. Mickey's written a book. We're going to talk about it. Nice to have you here, Mick.
Thank you very much, Jim. Talk about rings. That the only I couldn't beat the Yankees, so I had to join them, right?
Yeah.
The other rings are around the bathtub.
This is Mickey's book called "A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Cooperstown." And there's a lot of funny things happened to you on the way to Cooperstown. Now, let me just tell you that Mickey, now Warren Spahn, who was a Hall of Fame left-hander, said Mickey McDermott and Ted Williams were the 2 greatest athletes he'd ever seen. You could pitch, you could hit, you could run.
You know, that's a funny statement, but he meant it. Because every time I see him, I'd say, hi, Warren, you know. He looks like an emblem on a Pontiac. Remember the old Pontiacs with that horn?
Chief Pontiac.
They say, don't say that anyway.
Ventura to Zeile for, you don't mind if we mix a little baseball in here. Ventura,
No.
To Zeile for 1 out. And the thing, when I was a kid and came up, when I first heard about Mickey,
Go ahead.
is that when you went on a road trip, they said, you know, we had to wear coat and tie then, and Mickey would leave one of his soiled dress shirts at the hotel. So the next time around, you always had a clean shirt, and I understand the bellmen then were the best dressed guys around.
Jeremy Giambi takes a strike.
Is that true?
They weren't soiled.
They were new ones, huh?
New shirts. Every bellhop in the place said, "When is he coming back? I look good in this stuff, you know."
The 0-1 to Giambi, a little bit low.
You played with Dominic.
With Tom.
And against Jody. Mickey was 18-10 in 1953. I had your bubblegum card, and I remember them talking about this hard-throwing 17-year-old kid. That's when you came to the big leagues, I believe.
17.
That would be interesting to some of the Yankee/Red Sox fans, is what it was like to play with the little professor. There's Mick, and against Joe D. You pitched against him, obviously.
Joe DiMaggio. It's a great story. I hope I can continue. I'll do it
It's only one out.
I'll do it fast. I always got along with Joe. The reason, I'll tell you after. Anyway, I'm sitting down at the golf tournament with him, and he's got his granddaughter. I wasn't sitting at the time. He called me over. Max, sit down. I want to introduce you to my grandmother, but David, I'm my granddaughter. And we're talking and talking. Behind us is sitting Ralph Kiner, Bob Seaver, about 2 other stars, you know, big guys. So finally, when Joe leaves, they call me over and say, "What have you got on DiMaggio? He won't even talk to us. He won't sign a ball. He won't do nothing." I said, "You didn't throw him fastballs."
There you go.
He killed a guy in a canoe in the Charles River one day.
Here's the 2-2 to Giambi.
In fact, in Mickey's book, there's a picture of an autographed baseball, and Joe D said, "Mickey, thanks for all those good pitches at Fenway Park."
That's right. He was my buddy.
Yeah.
Not that way. I wish they could have got him out.
Yankees lead 2-0. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. 1 out, nobody on. The 3-2 to Giambi. Popped him up. Shallow, center field. Jeter is there, called off now by Rivera, and he puts it away for the 2nd out of the inning.
Tell us what you remember about your Yankee days, because you were here briefly in, I think it was 58.
Yeah, 56 is the ring. I'll tell you one thing. When I got traded to Washington, it was the end of the ball game. That's like going to Siberia. You know, they had signs in the stands, "Be kind to the animals" and all this.
Right. Hey, I
but when
broke
you
in there.
joined the Yankee, do what?
I broke in there.
That's right. You were with Williams.
Right.
Yeah. Well, whatever he called me, I can't say in the air. But anyway, joining a Yankee ball club like they had, you had Scourin at first, Jerry Coleman, Billy Martin, Gil McDougal, Andy Carey. Right field. Who was right fielder then?
Hank
Bauer,
Yep.
Mantle, and Woodling. Now you got a ball club that says
Pretty good catcher, too, didn't they?
Who?
Didn't they have a pretty good catcher?
Mantle?
No, the Yankees had a good catcher.
Oh, kid named Berra.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that this is the good, this is the bad, and Yoga the ugly. Sorry, but anyway, that's it was a thrill, and it's just too bad I couldn't put anything together.
Yeah.
You know, the nightlife, and I'm from here, and too many friends, and
It happens.
I proved it.
Varitek with a 2-1 count. Pettitte deals, foul back.
Well, and the reason we're visiting with Mickey McDermott, who came up as a promising 17-year-old with the Red Sox, and he's written a book published by Triumph Books. A funny thing happened on the way to Cooperstown, and back in the days when left-handers were a little zanier than they are today. There's some real entertaining stories in there, and I wish you well with it.
Thank you very much. Yours is a good book. Everybody's talking. Yeah, you do great.
Thank you.
Well, you were a hell of a pitcher, anyway. I was a thrower. There was a difference.
Well, and we crossed paths later. I think when the Angels became an expansion team, you did some, I think, pitch charting or scouting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, early 60s.
Yeah, I worked. They gave me a job as a batting practice pitcher for one reason.
Right.
I hit every bat in the league. Boy, he's a good one.
Pettitte winds, kicks, and deals the 2-2. He struck him out. 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettitte.
Mick, thanks a lot. Good luck
Pleasure.
with the book. Good to
Thank
see
you
you.
very much for inviting me.
Yankees lead 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. The celebs show up for Yankee Red Sox games. Yankees lead this 2-0, and Brian Leach is on your left, and John McEnroe on the right, wearing the hat from his alma mater, Stanford. So taking in Yankees Red Sox here on a somewhat chilly Wednesday night in New York City. No, it's not Wednesday, it's Tuesday. I'm fouled up.
It's all right. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
2-0 Yankees lead. Another celebrity in the crowd, Robert Klein.
Those lights must be dark or pretty bright out here, huh?
Well, that's a star thing,
That's a celeb look. I know it.
Bobby, you left these sunglasses at the table. Here's Matsui. And the pitch is outside. I asked Joe Torre before the game, are you a little bit shocked that Matsui has just 3 home runs? And he said, you know, in spring training, I thought that Matsui was going to hit 20 or 25. He said, I didn't think 50. He said, so the bottom line is, yeah, should he have 6 right now? Yeah, he said, but 3's not that far off. He said, but the one thing that you have to know, when we saw him in spring training, we said, this guy is not a power hitter. He does not hit like a power hitter, so they're not shocked in that sense. The 2-0.
He's a power hitter in batting practice because this afternoon he must have hit 7 or 8 in the stands and 2 or 3 in the upper deck. I actually believe by just observing him, of course, the stroke that he is featuring right now is not conducive to hitting home runs. I mean, it's more of a line drive type of a swing to hit the ball the opposite way. He stands away from the plate a little bit, looks for the ball out over the middle of the plate and away. Normally, if you're a home run hitter, you look for a ball inside that you can drive. Like that there, you know, and I don't know. He may be just a little bit tentative to the fact that he's still getting comfortable with the pitchers, the ballpark, playing here in America. Also, the fact that it looked like he's putting on the swing that he doesn't want to strike out. He just wants to put the ball in play.
Last home run was on May 7th. That was in Seattle. And the 3-2 popped up left field. Ramirez toward the line. And he'll make the play for the first out of the inning. He made that a little tougher than it should have been.
You know, I will say this about Matsui. I asked Ichiro the last time we were out in Seattle what kind of hitter Matsui was in Japan. And he said he was a line drive hitter. Even though he hit a lot of home runs, he hit over 50 home runs last year. Ramirez makes a nice play there. That ball would have been in fair territory. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, you can do a lot of damage by hitting a lot of doubles in the gaps. Singles and getting on base.
Here's Soriano. Soriano grounded out to third. That was in the first. Well, in the papers today, the Yankee owner, George Steinbrenner, made some comments about some players. He singled out Jeff Weaver and singled out Matsui. That's not the player that we thought we signed. And put some of the spotlight on Rick Down, the Yankee hitting coach, and said, you know, he's got to work with him more and turn him into a power hitter. And
I'll tell you what, Matsui is the kind of player you saw in spring training. I mean, this guy, to give you a little insight into what a player he is. And
that one's hit deep to left field. If it's fair, it's a home run. It's a foul ball.
Could be a lot of home runs tonight. You're getting a little insight into Bruce Chen and the problems he's had, because it's not that you give up hits, but they're hitting the ball hard. I mean, the run that Matsui scored yesterday when he went halfway between first and second, read the ball, and then scored on that little squibber out in front of the home plate, that gave you a lot of insight into what a player this guy is. In the field, runs the bases. But I think in spring training, if you saw him, you said, no, he didn't hit 50 home runs. Over there in Japan, played in the same league for 8 years, 6-team league, saw the same pitchers. They didn't have as much zip on the ball. And that doesn't add up to hitting 50 home runs over here. I think center field over there is maybe, what, 370 or something like. Ballparks are smaller. But I think a lot of it is the pitching. Right now, he's just a little confused.
That begs the question, though. If the Yankees knew that Matsui was the player that he is, fundamentally perfect, a really good outfielder, a guy who's going to hit 270 with singles and doubles, would they have signed him, or did they sign him because they thought he was a 50 home run guy?
Well, you know, when they had that tour of Japan and Giambi was over there and they saw him, he had a miserable series. And I think then when some of the Yankees were questioning some of the other big leaguers, they said, well, he could hit 25 home runs, 20, or he could. They certainly didn't want to downplay that. That's what he did over there. I
mean, you look at those numbers, you're getting the best player in Japan, and you're getting a guy that is a home run champion, 3-time home run and RBI champion.
Swing and a miss, and Soriano down on strikes, 2 away.
I think the disappointment is that, I mean, we talked about the guy. He comes with that resume with 50-plus home runs for a couple of times over in Japan, 3-time home run champ. You expect him just to hit a few more home runs, especially here at Yankee Stadium. But when you look at his stroke, and if you've been around for a while, it's not a home run producing stroke that he's putting on the ball right now.
And he said yesterday, I'm a little disappointed. I'm pressing a little bit. I should have more than 3 home runs. And as we said, about 3 weeks since he hit his last home run, that was in Seattle. Here's Giambi. A high pop-up, right side of the infield. Ortiz almost trips over the bag and puts it away for the final out of the inning. So Bruce Chen gets the Yankees 1-2-3 in the 3rd. We played 3 full innings at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Yankees with a pair of home runs, one by Jeter and one by Ventura, and the Yankees lead 2-zip.
Special event, Donnie Baseball on his love for the game.
I never lost that fire to play.
And the fans.
I knew I owed him everything, and I wasn't going to be able to give him everything.
Center Stage, Don Mattingly premieres tonight after the postgame.
Only on Yes.
Top of the 4th inning, time for the Aflac trivia question. Yankees lead 2-0. Jason and Jeremy Giambi, the 5th set of brothers to play against each other in the Red Sox-Yankee rivalry. We want to know who were the first set, or who was the first set. I don't know if grammatically you're right there, but we'll tell you who the first set of brothers was. What?
And could be a little bit of a trick question.
Would they do that?
Yes.
The Aflac people? Giambi fouls it off. Well, Andy Pettitte has lost 4 straight. Joe Torre said the way you break losing streaks is with good pitching, and so far Andy Pettitte has been everything the Yankees could have wanted. 9 up, 9 down, and no hard hit balls either. He has really pitched effectively, quickly throwing strikes, keeping the Red Sox off balance. The 0-2.
Remember the days before the DH, Bobby, and you're going into losing streaks and playing bad. The players would look at the starting pitcher and say, hey, shut him out and hit one out. That's a way to guarantee a win.
Yep, and that's what Joe was talking about. He said we just need somebody to shut the other team down.
Ground ball to first. Zeile. 1 away, 10 in a row.
One of the things that you were talking about, Kitty, he's got a great momentum going right now. He's got a great rhythm, and what that does also with your defense, it keeps everybody on their toes. It keeps them in their game, in the game, their head in the game, and so you're not just sitting out there on your haunches all the time going ball 3 and 2, walk.
Yeah, that starting pitcher sets the tone, the momentum for the whole game with his pace.
Here's Bill Miller, and there's a strike.
In fact, Mel, when talking to Mel a couple days ago about Andy's woes, he said they're all from the neck up. You know, he said there's nothing wrong with his stuff, nothing wrong with his arm. It's just, you know, he's overthrowing the ball, not thinking the way he should. It's hard to do, easy to say and hard to do, but sometimes when you're going through a spell like the Yankees are with the starting pitchers, you have to try to lighten the atmosphere as much as you can as a pitcher. And you have guys like Garciaparra that are wearing teams out, and you're out there and you say, hey, Nomar, here it is right down the middle, see how far you can hit it, and they end up popping it up and hitting it on the ground. It's tough to talk yourself into doing that, but that goes back to letting it happen and not trying too hard to make it happen.
2-1. Hit sharply and through the left side for a base hit. So Bill Miller, the first Red Sox to reach against Andy Pettitte. Pettitte had retired the first 10 Red Sox in a row, so Miller reaches, and that brings up Garciaparra.
It looked like a breaking ball, didn't it, Kitty? And he just waited on it like a little spinner in the high part of the strike zone. He waited on it nicely.
Here's Garciaparra, struck out looking in the first inning, didn't like the call, struck out on a backdoor breaking ball by Pettitte. And Garciaparra carries a 26-game hitting streak into the contest. Breaking ball up and away. Down 2-0.
Garciaparra started this ball game hitting .361 off of left-handed pitchers this year.
Garciaparra 22 for his last 53 in his last 13 games here at Yankee Stadium. That's over 400. 2-0. There's a strike. Lifetime here at the stadium coming into tonight's contest. Nomar hitting .344, and that's second only amongst active players to Edgar Martinez, and Martinez of the Mariners .345.
It's hard to believe that Nomar took that pitch. He had to be guessing on some other pitch in order to take that 2-0 pitch.
Yeah, 2-0 pitch.
You don't think of Nomar being a guess hitter, but for the way he free swings.
But the zone you'd like to have it if you're a right-hand hitter against left-hand pitcher. 2-0 is down and in, and that's where that pitch was. Might have surprised him.
He had to be guessing.
See those stadium numbers? Followed by Palmeiro, Alomar, and Higginson. A minimum of 100 at-bats. Inside. If you're planning ahead, maybe you want to buy tickets for history. If Nomar keeps this hitting streak alive, game number 56 would be on June 27th against the Marlins.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where? At Fenway or?
At Fenway.
Okay.
That's barring rainouts. The 3-1. Fouled away. Nomar's real name is Anthony. And the reason he's called Nomar, it's a nickname. His father's name is Ramon. And the mother did not want to name him Ramon, didn't like the name, so they just turned Ramon around and called him Nomar. But his given name is Anthony. So Anthony Garciaparra digs in. Kitty, is Pettitte tipping off that move? He used to pick off people once a game. He doesn't do it anymore.
No, I think one of the reasons is like outfielders that have great throwing arms. They got 15 assists in their rookie year, and then nobody runs on them anymore, and they don't take as big a leads. They're finally getting wise to it. Why take a big lead, get a chance on getting picked off?
3-2. Driven out to right center field and deep. Giving chase is Mondesi and Matsui. Matsui makes the catch and then spins and fires toward first. Not in time as Miller gets back. 2 away.
Boy, there again is an example of Matsui having his head in the game. Here's the pitch by pitch. Pettitte falls behind 2-0. Now here, that would be a hitter's pitch on 2-0, but he took it. 3-1. Fouls off. Hit rather well. Watch how quickly Matsui wheels and throws to first. He knows exactly where Miller is and that he's taken off for second base. He just has great anticipation and feel for how the game ought to be played.
Here's Manny Ramirez. Rocketed foul.
And back to the discussion about Matsui from last inning. Because the expectations, another look at what he did. When you see the resume, the expectations are so high, but the reality is the Yankees, for the first time in 12 years, are going to have a regular left fielder for several years to come that knows how to play baseball.
I thought the scouting report that I saw that he hits for power, drives in a lot of runs, not very good outfielder, and can't run that well.
Yeah, I don't know where that came. I mean, he doesn't have foot speed, but he's a terrific outfielder.
Oh, he's a terrific outfielder, as you mentioned, with the anticipation of what he needs to do and certainly getting the jump off the bat. Oh, he's fundamentally sound. There's no doubt about that.
One punch foul.
Take a look at yesterday, that great catch. This game could have really been blown out of proportion without that fantastic catch. Bases, I think, were loaded at that time, and Matsui saved at least maybe a bases loaded or bases cleared double or triple.
When he caught the ball, he got up ready to throw the ball into the stands and then saw the foul pole and realized, I'm facing the wrong way. The 1-2 outside. Crowd getting into this. They have not had much to cheer about. We all know the 8-game losing streak here at the stadium. Yankees have lost 12 of their last 13 here in the Bronx. Never before in franchise history have they done that. So this crowd has had very little to cheer about, and they've seen way too many bottom of the 9th innings. And the 2-2. 3-2. That releases Miller at first with a 3-2 count and 2 outs. Two-0 Yankees. Home runs by Jeter and Ventura, obviously solo shots. We're in the top of the 4th inning here at the stadium. Middle game of a 3-game set. And the 3-2. Chop towards second base. Soriano's right there. And he'll try to make the out at first. He does, as Ramirez hustling down the line for the final out of the inning. No runs. Red Sox first hit. No errors. And 1 man left. Bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Yanks.
Oh, look, it's the guy who falls.
Fall now.
Oh, I don't really do that anymore. It's not like I got that insurance.
What insurance?
Aflac.
They pay you cash if you can't work when you get hurt. Not that I ever do. Aisle 5 under lingerie.
Price check.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Aflac.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's time for the Aflac Trivia answer. The question was Jason and Jeremy Giambi, the 5th set of brothers to play against each other in the Red Sox-Yankee rivalry. Who were the first set? And the answer is Bill Dickey and George Dickey.
Wow. I was going to say DiMaggio's.
Yeah.
George Dickey played a couple of games. Bill Dickey, Yankee Hall of Fame catcher. His number 8 retired out in left field along with Yogi Berra's. Posada against Chen. There's a strike. Bill Dickey also very famous for picking up a very young Jim Kaat and driving him home from a minor league game.
And from the Atlanta Crackers, there's Fay and Marvin Fay Throneberry, 55, and now the Giambis.
Now, I never heard of the name Garbark. Were they pretty good players? I never heard. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, I did not either.
Mike and Bob Garbark.
But I'll tell you next inning. I'll look it up in my little electronic dictionary. We'll find out how they did.
The 0-2 to Posada. Pitch is high.
Probably see ex-Yankee Ramiro Mendoza tonight. That's usually Grady Little's plan. Chen has not started too many games. He did give him 4 decent innings in Fenway Park.
Swing and a miss. And Posada is really struggling. He's 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for his last 15. Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, 1 out. Yankees up 2-0, and Raul Mondesi digs in. Mondesi reached on an E5 in the 2nd inning, then a bit too enthusiastically tried to go to second and was gunned down trying to stretch. 6-4. Now, of course, you can't buy into the fallacy of the predetermined outcome, but it might have cost the Yankees a run if Ventura did, in fact, follow that with a home run. But maybe he would have seen a different pitch with a runner on first base.
Nevertheless, it wasn't the right play with nobody out. Made it look even worse when Robin did hit the home run.
1-1. Popped up. Right center field. Backing up is Miller. Coming on Millar. And he'll put it away for the second out of the inning.
Mike Shankman's got this information a little quicker than I could dig it out, Michael. The Garbacks. Both catchers. And Bob hit .248 with no home runs, and Mike in 1945, 1944, .244 with 2 home runs, 149 games. Sounds like those typical backup catchers.
Pitch to Ventura is a strike. And the Yankee Garbark seemed like he played toward the end of World War II, and that was a different level of player back then. Most of the other players were in the in the war effort. The 0-1. 1-1.
It's innings like this when you see Bruce Chen strike out Alfonso Soriano that the scouts that are here say, hey, you know, this he's got some potential.
Well, Bruce Chen is different than some left-handers because, as Kitty said, he's majoring in mechanical engineering at Georgia Tech, and he just dabbles in calculus for fun.
You're right. Wow. That's Joe Sparks. He's the advanced scout for the St. Louis Cardinals with interleague play coming up.
1-2. Strike 3 outside corner. Ventura down looking, and Chen has rebounded nicely. He's retired 7 in a row. Yankees go down 1-2-3. We go to the top of the 5th inning. 2-0 Yanks.
I'm Fred Hickman. The studio update brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Well, the Mariners and the Royals going at it. Top 1, a man on, and Yankee killer Edgar Martinez spreads it out as he takes Chris George deep to left center and out. Mariners up 2-0 right now. The Royals with no cheese. 2-0 M's bottom 1. Back to Michael, Jim, and Buck.
Well, thank you, Fred. Thanks a lot, Fred. Top of the 5th inning. Yankees lead the Red Sox 2-0. Kevin Millar leads off against Andy Pettitte. 2-3-0 for the Yanks. 0-1-1 for the Red Sox. And there's a strike.
I don't know how many first pitch strikes that Andy has thrown tonight, but I would guess to believe it's about 70% first pitch strikes to the hitters leading off, and that's been one of his biggest assets tonight. He's pitching in front of these hitters.
Line drive, but foul.
A lot of counts when I look up the board. They're 1-2, 0-2, such as he is here on Millar.
Yesterday, Roger Clemens got a lot of those, but the Red Sox really put some two-strike good at-bats on him. Roger's stuff was good, but the percentages say if you get ahead of hitters like this 0-2, you're going to get 80% or more out. They're going to hit less than 200.
Check swing. Did he go? No, said first base umpire and crew chief Joe West.
What happens is that you take him out of the offensive swing and put him on the defensive swing. And that's pretty darn close right there.
Well, it's no secret that the Yankees have struggled of late. Roger Clemens tried to pick up his 300th yesterday, and instead it turned into the Yankees' 5th straight loss, 8th straight here at Yankee Stadium. And Joe Torre was very calm about it before the game. He talked at length with a gaggle of reporters as Millar swings and misses for the first out of the 5th inning. And I asked Joe straight out, I said, Joe, are you nervous at all that this could be long-term, that this team might be a bad team? He said, you really can't think that far ahead. You have to take it day by day and sit here and try to win each game. He said, but with the pitchers I have, he said, I've had some teams before where my pitching is awful. He said, I knew we were going to have a bad year. My pitching's too good. He said, this will turn around. He said, I'm not nervous at all long term.
And that's the key component right there, the starting pitching. When you look at the position players, this is not the kind of teams the Yankees had in the late 90s. And no disrespect for the guys out there. Todd Zeile, Robin Ventura, first-class guys, hard players, can't move like Tino Martinez and Scott Brosius could. That's the split. First 21, they're 16-0. Now they're 10-16, the starters. You know, the teams when you had Tino Martinez, Knobloch before his problems, Brosius, O'Neill. Then when the count went 3-1, the runners would be released almost all the time. You could put it in play, get the defense moving around. You can't do that with this team with Giambi and Zeile and Ventura and Posada, guys that don't run, strike out a lot.
Derek Jeter actually made a comment after the game yesterday. He said, you know, this team does not have a lot of guys left over from the championship years. And that quote was brought to Torre, and he said, well, he's right. He said, but if you look, every single year we've had a big turnover. Yeah. After 96, we didn't have John Wetland. He was the World Series MVP. He said, so Derek's right. He said, but that's not really an excuse. 1-2. Line drive down the right field line, and that's a fair ball that'll go into the corner. Mondesi plays the carom. Ortiz goes for 2. Here's the throw. Not in time, bit wide. So a double for Ortiz.
Now David Ortiz continues to own Andy Pettitte. Posada wants it inside, and that's the difference between a pitcher's pitch and a hitter's pitch. You see, he's got to reach over toward the middle of the plate just enough for Ortiz to be able to get the barrel of the bat on it.
Ortiz, the first Red Sox hitter to pick up a base hit with 2 strikes on him. So the Red Sox are 1 for 11. with 2 strikes against them tonight.
Well, the differences in this Boston Red Sox offense is the fact that Grady Little is doing some of the things that the Yankees used to do. I mean, they go from first to third now. They used to be only, base to base type of ball club. They've got 12 sacrifice bunts. You'd never see them sacrifice. They hit and run. So they've got some guys that they've made turnovers with, and they've gone to that on-base percentage mode. Theo Epstein, the new general manager, that's what they're looking for. Guys could swing the bat, get on base.
Pitch to Hillenbrand's upstairs. Yankees lead 2-0. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 2-3-0 for the Yanks. 0-2-1 for the Red Sox. So Ortiz is in scoring position. First Red Sox to get to scoring position tonight. Fouled away. Joe Torre also before the game was asked a lot about some of the comments that George Steinbrenner made in the papers today. And Torre was very calm and collected about it. And he said what he should say. He said, Mr. Steinbrenner owns the team. He has every right to say whatever he wants. I would be upset too. I am upset that the team's playing this way. He said, so I have no comment on what Mr. Steinbrenner said.
I don't think George said anything that the players don't feel, the coaching staff. I mean, the advance billing on Matsui led people to believe he's going to be a 50 home run hitter. He's not. Jeff Weaver looked like he might be the Cy Young Award winner in spring training. He's gone the opposite direction. He's turned into a thrower, and he's admitted that to himself, to Mel Stottlemyre. Said, I got to get back to being a pitcher.
That one's hit deep to left field. Fair ball. It's a tie game. That ball is a foul ball up the facing of the upper deck.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about trading Shea Hillenbrand from this offense, and as far as the Yankees are concerned, they probably wish that they would trade him away. He's been a Yankee killer, and just about an inch or two, this game would have been tied.
That is some rarefied air for a right-handed hitter to get up to the facing of the upper deck. Missed a home run by a little bit. Two 2-0 Yankees. Ortiz leads off second with 1 out. And the 2-2. Popped him up. In the infield, Jeter and Soriano converge. Jeter with the call and the catch. 2 away.
Well, high and tight, low and away. Ever since this game was invented, that's where you try to pitch hitters. Kurt slips out for a ball. High and away. Look, now watch this pitch. Right where a right-hand hitter likes it, down and in. But the next one, up and in. That's the difference between a home run and a pop-up in the infield.
Pettitte zeroes in on Jeremy Giambi. And the pitch. Low.
And he's got a good one, that cutter or the slider, and that's the toughest pitch for a left-handed hitter to hit. That's a hard slider going down and away. The tendency to the hitter left side is to pull off of that pitch when he first sees it. And once you pull off of it, just say half an inch and the ball's still going away from you, it's hard to get a good part of the bat on it. It's that slider that you're trying to go down and away and you hang inside is the one that you get hurt with.
And the count 3-0. Andy has a base open with which to play, and Jason Varitek is on deck.
I don't think he wouldn't want to try to do that. Varitek's had a lot of success against Andy. I think this is one of those cases where maybe you look at the hitter more than the target and lose your control for a few pitches.
There's a strike. Giambi taking all the way. The Giambi brothers certainly both off to tough starts. Jeremy's hitting 195. And Jason came into the action tonight hitting 207. He's 1 for 2. Jeremy's 0 for 1 tonight. And a 3-1 count here in the top of the 5th. Yankees lead 2-0. He walked him.
Let's see what this pitch was on 3-1. It's a breaking ball. And when you think about it, I go back to the old statement of Robin Roberts, how do you pitch Willie Mays? Tell me the score, the count, and the inning. You got a 2-0 lead and a guy like Pettitte coming up next. 3-1 on a lefty. You're not really giving yourself the best of it or playing the best percentage when you throw a 3-1 breaking ball. Now you got to face a right-hand hitter with 2 men on.
And he's 11 for 26.
The pitch to Pettitte is outside, so Andy working himself into trouble here in the 5th inning.
That's what, when you talk about the players today, are better athletes, better players, faster, bigger, stronger. But those little things playing to the scoreboard, the inside part of the game, I don't think they get a chance to really learn that properly in the minor leagues. Don't get enough time down there or aren't taught it.
The 1-0. Foul back.
It's amazing all the variables that come up in a game, especially as Kitty was talking about with pitchers, but the same thing goes for hitters too. I mean, you know, every time you come to the plate, everything is different. Everything that you need to accomplish as far as a hitter is concerned, tell me who's hitting behind me, who's on base, what the score is, what the inning is, will dictate a lot about how the pitcher's going to pitch to you. Or should pitch to you.
Well, let's just say you are hitting and the count's 3-1 and Thurman Munson's on deck. And it's a 2-run game. You don't think that left-hander's going to throw you a breaking ball at 3-1?
Well, I'm not even looking for a breaking ball. I'm looking for something to drive.
And he's going to say, you know, and if you pop it up, fine, but he's got to make you put the ball in play. And I think maybe today, because the hitters have more power, that you know, the approach to pitching is much more defensive.
Pettitte sets. Runners lead the 1-1. Driven down the right field line. Foul. Now, let me take the opposite side on Pettitte. Maybe he's thinking right along with you guys. Hey, he knows that I don't want to face Pettitte. He's probably expecting the fastball, and I don't want to give it to him.
Don't do the hitters thinking for him. Just go with your strength. Yeah. You got to challenge him there and say, hey, I got a good enough fastball. Get him out.
There they go again, thinking.
1-2. Bloop to left field. Coming on is Rivera. He will not make the play. Ortiz rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw. Not in time. An RBI single for Pettitte. Red Sox are on the board. Yankees lead 2-1 now.
Well, they had him. They had a better shot at him. That little dunker out into left field. Rivera, if he doesn't, we'll take a look at the pitch by pitch first. That's just outside. Fastball outside. Not the same area. Then he goes inside, the same one as Shea Hillenbrand pulled foul for almost a home run. But if Rivera comes up with this ball cleanly, they've got a clear shot at Ortiz. He bobbles it. You can see that. That was the difference in having a shot at throwing Ortiz out at home.
Here's Johnny Damon. And the pitch gets away from Posada, but the runners stay put.
But again, Bobby, looking at that pitch by pitch and going back to being taught to read the bat, when you got a right-hand hitter that has hit 2 fastballs fouled on the right field line, that means he's late on him. If you then throw him a breaking ball in the strike zone, you speed up his bat and you help him time it perfectly.
The 1-0. Grounded to first. Zeile down on one knee. He'll take it himself, and Pettitte escapes further trouble. But the Red Sox get on the board. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 walk, no errors, and 2 men left. At the end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through. We've got a good one. Yankees 2, Red Sox 1. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Some Yes gear at Yankee Stadium. So they go into the YesNetwork.com, the Yes store, and buying some Yes gear. Starting to show up all over New York. Yankees are leading 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Juan Rivera leads off against Bruce Chen. Line drive off the glove of Garciaparra, dunks into left field. Rivera makes a big turn. He'll stop right there. So a single for Juan Rivera to start off the bottom of the 5th. Wonder how they score that. He hit it hard, but that's a play Garciaparra should make.
Got to be a base hit, I think.
Yeah, when you give up a ball hit that hard, but I see what Michael's saying. Nomar He just didn't quite time his jump. I don't know if he jumped too early or too late.
It's all timing, and like Kitty was talking about, the timing just wasn't there. That was off the tip end of the glove.
And they do score at a base hit.
Yeah, you smoke it that hard, and your shortstop has to jump, and you're a pitcher, you say, yeah, that's a hit.
Now, if you hit it on the ground, you hit it that hard. Hit it on the ground, it gets by him, it's an error.
So Rivera leads off first. Here's Todd Zeile.
It's a great situation for hit and run. And the count gets in the right category. Zeile's a good guy that can go the opposite way. There's a big hole between first and second. Chen is a guy that, as we see right now, is going to not really throw the fastball by. He's around the plate quite a bit.
And the pitch is a strike. Zeile walked in the second inning. He has not gotten off to a good start, hitting .202, 4 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Ramiro Mendoza, who will take over for Chen, begins to throw in the Red Sox bullpen. Two big important cogs in the Yankee bench this year, Todd Zeile and Bubba Trammell. There could be a little bit of a problem with that, though. They're not used to being bench players. They're used to getting a lot of at-bats. They're not going to get that this year, although Todd Zeile has been filling in because of the injury to Nick Johnson. Sometimes it's hard for a regular player to adapt to truncated duty, and that's exactly what they're doing. And so far for Zeile, he has struggled.
See him throwing those big words at us again. Yeah. It's also tough for a part-time player, right? But Zeile is a veteran guy who can handle it better, I think. In Bubba Trammell's case, you're right. I think it's he's not going to have the same timing. I think Todd is a veteran and has done that enough that he can handle that kind of role.
Wasn't it tough for you, Bobby, when you finally moved to the bench and didn't play every day?
The toughest part about it is coming to the grips, the fact that you're going to have to be a platoon player. I mean, you're not an everyday player anymore. The manager doesn't see you in his eyes as being a guy that he's going to put out there every day. So you have to prepare yourself like you were an everyday player, but maybe even a little bit more when you become a bench player and a part-time player. But I think it's much harder mentally than it is physically for these guys.
Joe Torre said the best that he ever had as a manager, a guy that went from a very good player to a pinch hitter and a part-time player, was Chris Chambliss. He said he turned into a great pinch hitter for the Atlanta Braves, and this guy was a star at one point.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. I fought it like crazy. I mean, I kept thinking, well, what are they thinking? How can they be setting me down and not playing me every day? I mean, mentally, I still thought I was an everyday player, but it really turned out to be a pretty good platoon situation.
It was you and Pinella, right?
Pinella and Oscar Gamble. And it really gave the ball club that we played on at that time, it gave them every option in the world. I'm talking about the manager, Dick Hauser. He had every option in the world to counteract any move that the opposing manager ever made.
That one's driven out to right field and deep. Giving chase is Millar. Looking up. See ya! A 2-run home run for Todd Zeile the other way. And the Yankees lead 4-1.
Boy, that's some kind of at-bat right there by Todd Zeile. Because it's not just the home run. That's the end result. But leading up to that, he took swing after swing trying to find that hole between first and second. And that kind of approach, you get rewarded with a home run.
Sort of reminiscent of what happened yesterday against Roger Clemens. I mean, they just fought and scratched and clawed and bounced some tough pitches off and came up successful.
Jeter grounds one to third. Hillenbrand one away.
Hey, Michael, guess what with that home run with Todd Zeile?
He's King Z, right?
He passed Ozark Ike, passed Gus Zernial. And like Todd Zeile said, the only thing, he never had a chance to date Marilyn Monroe like Gus Zernial did, even though he's now leading the Z's in home runs.
That was home run number 238 for Zeile.
You're in a tough bracket there, Bobby, being M.
I'm in a
Mantle, Mays, McCovey.
Maris.
Yeah.
Matsui.
Yeah, it was always a great bullpen game. You pick out, you know, with the alphabet, you'd start with A and you'd just go up and down the alphabet, and you know, you'd try to save the tough ones. You'd start with the obvious ones like Aaron, and then with some of the young guys, you knew they didn't know who Cap Anson was, so you'd save that in reserve when it came your turn.
Swing and a miss.
It's all finally coming out, Michael. All of us offensive guys, all of us hitters always thought that these pitchers were so smart because they'd come up with all these kind of different trivia questions and answers and names that you hadn't heard. It's really a game for them. They just sit out in the bullpen and they play a game.
A lot of dead time.
Play a game when you get between the lines, too. That's all it is.
Just missed outside, 2-2.
For as long as this game has been around, pitchers give hitters too much credit and hitters give pitchers too much credit. It's not that you don't respect them, but you tend to think they're a little better than they really are.
And the 2-2. A high fly ball to right center field. That's in the park. Damon, 2 down. Well, fans, we want to thank you for making the Yes Network the #1 regional sports network in the tri-state area by more than a 3-1 margin from sign-on to sign-off. For the New York Yankees, New Jersey Nets, Manchester United, and more, the Yes Network is your home for championship viewing, and we know we're new, but we do thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we're thrilled at the numbers in which you are tuning in. Here's Soriano. Swing and a miss. You know, Jim, you said that Bobby was in a tough category. The K's aren't too easy either. You had 16 career home runs, and the leader of the K's, Harmon Killebrew, 573.
Yeah. Well, but see, mine would be giving up. I might lead the K's in giving up home runs. The graphic you just mentioned, I'll tell you, that's not only the appeal of the Yankees, but you know, your center stage and the Yankeeography and the classics. There's some really. We mentioned before when the Rangers were in, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez.
That one's off the bag, fielded nicely by Hillenbrand across the diamond to end the inning. Nice play. Todd Zeile said wow, and maybe that's still a residual wow from that. His 5th home run of the year on a 7-pitch at bat. Chen knows he made a mistake. We played 5, 4-1 New York Yankees.
In sports,
There's no greater theater than Yankees Red Sox.
the greatest comeback in sports,
A 3-run home run for Pettitte.
the greatest rivalry in sports, the rivalry that Ruth built, premieres tomorrow at 10:30 only on Yes.
Bill Miller leads off. No more Garciaparras on deck. He'll go through all the gyrations, all those little idiosyncrasies, and Andy Pettitte will try to stop him. So far he has 0 for 2. Garciaparra has a 26-game hitting streak. He has not yet extended it tonight. But Bill Miller starts off the inning, and that one is driven to right center field and deep. Giving chase is Mondesi on the run. He can't get there. It's one hop over the wall for a ground rule double to start off the 6th inning for Bill Miller. That's his 2nd base hit of the night.
That also is a 20th double for Miller. He leads the American League in doubles. And what a position that he hits in right in front of Garciaparra and Manny Ramirez. Being aggressive, yeah, it's all right to be aggressive on the first pitch if you're looking for a pitch that you can handle in a position, in a zone that you are looking at. So that's what Miller was doing, and leads off with a double.
See what Bobby's talking about. Eric Hinsky is 2nd. Shannon Stewart and Vernon Wells, all 3 players on Toronto with 18 doubles. Here's Garciaparra. Slow roller to the 3rd base side of the mound. Fielded by Pettitte. Fires. Got it. 1 away as Miller stays put at 2nd. That's a pretty nice play for Andy Pettitte.
Very aggressive play for Pettitte and a good pitch. You know that Garcia is one of those free swingers. He gave him one low and in, and he chops it on the ground out in front of the mound. Now he's getting help also from Ventura and Posada on what he should do with that ball. Pettitte, in the back of his mind, he knows that Miller is down at 2nd and will probably try to go to 3rd, but you can hear Ventura and also Posada saying first. But that's when the 2 guys on the corners also can help you out.
Miller remains at 2nd. No more 0 for 3. The pitch to Ramirez is outside. Yankees lead 4-1. All 4 Yankee runs coming via the home run. Solo shot by Jeter, solo shot by Ventura, and a 2-run home run by Todd Zeile. The 1-0. Driven down the right field line. Fair ball, it's trouble. That ball is a foul ball. Missed a 2-run home run by a couple feet. Maybe less.
If you're a left-handed hitter here at Yankee Stadium, as you take a look at some of the RBI leaders, Sammy Sosa, Manny Ramirez, just behind him, along with Alex Rodriguez, you got to take a look at that right field corner. And if you got the power to hit the ball in that area, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, especially left-handed, I think you got to give yourself a chance to take a shot down.
1-1. Foul back.
And that's what makes Manny Ramirez such a good hitter. Like right now, this 1-2 situation, and you go over to team meetings and say, well, he's a good fastball hitter, and he is, but he's also a good breaking ball hitter, particularly with 2 strikes, because he can wait so long. He's got a good 2-strike approach.
Pettitte trying to snap a 4-game personal losing streak, a 5-game Yankee losing streak. The 1-2. Did he foul tip the ball? Yes, he did, to stay alive.
See how late he swung it. That ball was almost in Posada's glove. It's almost like he was saying, I'm going to get a breaking ball, and then at the last minute, oops, it's a fastball. Those good hitters will spoil the good pitches like that and hope that you make a mistake. Guy hitting ninth, that's a strikeout.
And the 1-2. Hit deep to left field. That is going to fall in for a base hit and bounce into the seats. Another ground rule double that will score Miller. An RBI for Manny Ramirez. And the Yankee lead is now 4-2.
Well, it's the same thing happened with Pettitte. It is a breaking ball, and it's down and in, and with 2 strikes, you don't get by with many breaking balls to Ramirez. He earned that by fouling off that tough fastball, but again, when a hitter is late on the fastball, it speeds up his bat when he gets a breaking ball in the strike zone.
Pretty much anything inside to a hitter will speed the bat up.
Millar fouls it off.
You can look at tendencies on how pitchers will pitch you, and especially whatever innings it is, and if you have enough confidence to get around on the inside pitch, I mean, you can always look outside in the middle of the plate and just react to the ball inside.
Millar has struck out twice against Pettitte. And that one's lofted into center field. Coming on is Matsui. Makes the play on the run. 2 away. So Matsui filling in center field for Bernie Williams has done a very nice job so far.
Outstanding job. You can see he's right off with the crack of the bat in center field. Of course, center field, you get a better look at the ball off the bat, more so than you do in left and right field. And Matsui has tremendous instincts out there, and he's got them played the way that Mazzilli and he have gone over those scouting reports on these hitters, and got quick instincts and reactions in center field.
Didn't you always find that the ball, I've heard this, never played the outfield other than amateur ball, but the ball hit right at you is the most difficult.
Toughest one to judge.
Side to side is a little easier.
Yeah.
Here's David Ortiz. Now Posada went out and talked with Pettitte about Ortiz. Ortiz can hurt Pettitte, and he hits Pettitte well. And we mentioned earlier, left-handers hitting .300 against Pettitte this year. First base is open. Hillenbrand is on deck. Now this is going to be Pettitte's 100th pitch, and here we are in the 6th inning. So the Red Sox make you work. They made Clemens work yesterday, 133 pitches and 5 2/3. That one's driven out to deep center field, giving chase Matsui. He's there, and he puts it away in Death Valley for the final out of the inning. Pettitte's not thrilled, but the result is okay. Red Sox get a run back on 2 hits, 2 doubles, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Yanks.
A beautiful thing about women, they don't sweat like a guy.
New Arm & Hammer Ultramax Antiperspirant Gel.
It's made just for guys.
Superior odor protection versus the leading gel at 8, 12, even 24 hours.
That's all the muscle a man needs.
New Ultramax Gel.
The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Tuesday, June 10th, all fans in attendance will receive a 100th anniversary commemorative coin courtesy of Hebrew National. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Wednesday, June 11th, as the first 18,000 fans, 14 and under, are going to receive a Yankees Super 6 baseball card pack from French's Mustard. This pack includes the cards of Jeter, Soriano, Posada, Contreras, Carsey, and Weaver. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212, or log on to Yankees.com. Well, Red Sox manager Grady Little makes the singular call to the bullpen. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best, and Ramiro Mendoza will make the trip in, and he will relieve Bruce Chen. And when he walked to the mound, he actually got a pretty nice hand here from the crowd at Yankee Stadium.
You can see he's had a rough year so far. 28 2/3 innings, 46 hits, ERA over 7. Ramiro usually gives up about a hit an inning, but much better control and keeps the ball in the ballpark.
Faced the Yankees in Boston, everything was up in the zone. And the pitch is a strike.
Through his struggles with Boston, they have been getting all over him in the papers up there. They've been referring to Ramiro Mendoza as the double agent.
The 0-1. Mendoza had those great years with the Yankees, a big part of their championship teams, became a free agent. Yankees didn't tender him a contract. They didn't want to bring him back at the money that he was asking, and the Red Sox grabbed him. And so far, it has not worked out for the Red Sox. The 1-1. There's a strike.
Yeah, he's on a mound right now where he feels comfortable. Those are two of the kind of pitches that Ramiro made when he was in pinstripes.
Career numbers at Yankee Stadium, 16 and 19, 9 saves, 4.15 ERA. But boy, he got some big outs for the Yankees. Against the Red Sox in that ALCS the two teams played.
You know, sometimes different surroundings, different ballparks, different uniforms, living in a new city, having moved yourself and your family in those areas. Sometimes it takes a little while to really get comfortable. But on the other hand, Tony Cloninger knows a lot about him, the pitching coach for the Boston Red Sox. Of course, Tony was here for several years with the Yankees.
Bobby Mendoza is such a creature of comfort. He did not want to leave the Yankees. This is where he wanted to be, but the Yankees did not want him back, and so he had to continue to pitch, and he moves on to Boston, and maybe he's not comfortable there. Maybe he's still in that feeling out process. 2-2. Popped up. Left side. Coming on Ramirez. Still coming. Slides. He dropped the ball. Giambi will go for second. He'll get there. That should be an E7. We'll see how they score it.
Manny's from that school. Best way to play the outfield, swing that bat. See, he got a little bit of a late start. Then he tried to turn on the Jets. Right there. I don't know that he would have had to slide to make it. Hits it in the heel of the glove.
He didn't have to slide. In fact, when he slid, he actually overran the baseball, overslid the baseball.
Of course, with Giambi hitting, he's playing deep and over to left center. And Jason gets into second base.
And that is scored, and E7. Now the Red Sox, when Giambi was up, they had the shift on. Giambi is seeing that exclusively. All teams are doing it. 3 guys on the right side and the third baseman playing where the shortstop would play. He has the whole left side open. And I have been wondering for the last month, the guy is hitting 205, 207. Why not take the easy base hit that way? So I asked Joe Torre today. And the pitch inside, and Joe Torre said, under no circumstance do I want him to do that. He's not the type of batter that can just poke a ball that way. I do not want him to give into the shift, and there is the shift. He said he is the type of hitter that I want him to drive the ball. I said, but what I would like to see him do is take the ball to left field and drive it to the outfield, but I do not want him to try to poke a ground ball through the left side. That's not what he's here for.
Not even being down 5 runs in the 9th inning.
You know, I asked him that, Bobby, and that's my feeling too. And he said, absolutely not. That's not what he can do. He's not that type of hitter.
He did try to do that with the Yankees down a few. There's special circumstances where you do that.
Ground ball up the middle, off of Mendoza. Doesn't know where it is. He finally locates it, puts it to first. They get him. As Giambi moves to third.
Well, that's a tough out there for Posada because he hit the ball about as hard as he could hit it. And I think he caught a pretty good piece of Mendoza and falls out in front of Mendoza at least where he can spot it and still pick it up and throw out Posada. From a hitter standpoint, you certainly can't fault yourself on that.
Quick footwork by Ortiz getting off the bag. It looked like it caught Ramiro on the glove arm, somewhere up in the maybe the inside of the forearm.
That's as fast as Posada can go.
You know, going back, Michael, to your comment about Mendoza and the Yankees didn't want him, I think for the right price. You know, didn't he get 3 years?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Yankees would have, you know, that's where you get into this when players say, well, I'd like to play in one town, but, you know, if you're willing, if you like it that much in that city and you're willing to take a little less money, then you could stay there. But the Red Sox ponied up, I think, $7 million for 3 years.
Well, that's the agent talking most of the time, and of course that's his job, is to try to get his client as much money as possible. Grady Little looking on. I was also talking to Tony Cloninger today. Grady will get up and kind of look and see what his defense is doing. Going to bring the infield in, but Tony was saying, you know, I've seen Mendoza go through these spells before where he just can't hardly get anybody out and everybody hits line drives and home runs off of him. But I've also seen him when he snaps out of it, nobody else can hit him after that. That great sinker.
Infield in, the pitch to Mondesi was a strike. Well, a sinker ball pitcher is really at the mercy of that ball sinking, because if it doesn't sink, it's just a bad fastball. And if he doesn't make that ball sink, he's very, very hittable. So his margin of error is very small. The 1-0. Hit sharply right at Hillenbrand. Holds the runner, 2 away. Hillenbrand's a thrill a minute over there at third.
Well, the Red Sox are built on scoring runs, and Posada and Mondesi, you can't guide it, you can just hit it, and they both hit the ball hard enough to get base hits.
Now, Mondesi did hit that ball hard, but something the Yankees have been lacking in here in the last 3 weeks or so is driving that run in at third base with less than 2 outs. In fact, they lead the American League with runners left on base. They came into this game with 403 runners that they've left on base already this year.
That's a big part of the losing. You have to get those runners in when you have the opportunity. Here's Ventura, 3 for 8 against Mendoza. Ventura with a solo home run today. He's 1 for 2. Swing and a miss.
You know, you're talking about Mendoza when that ball doesn't swing, it doesn't sink. I mean, when you go up there as a hitter, you're only looking in one direction or one area, and that's you know, for about the waist on down, maybe even a little bit lower than that. So you just focus your eyes right in that area there, and if that ball's not sinking down in this area here, I mean, you're almost right on the pitch every time. Once in a while, they'll show me a fastball. You know, give me a show me fastball.
Yankees lead 4-2. All 4 runs coming on the home runs. Solo shot by Jeter, solo shot by Ventura, 2-run shot by Zeile. Pitch is outside.
Probably give him one more pitch to Ventura, and if he doesn't hit the corner, Put him on, trying to get Robin to chase something. Right-hand hitter on deck.
And the 2-1. 2-2.
You mentioned the 2-run homer. That's significant. That's the first home run with a man on base that the Yankees have hit in quite some time. He had 10 straight solo home runs. I think Robin was the last one to do it against the Rangers when they were in here the last homestand.
2-2. Missed outside. 3-2.
It's very, very unusual that you have 8 or 9 guys go into sort of a slump at one time. It's also unusual, like the Yankees had at the first part of the season, to have 8 or 9 guys hitting on an everyday basis.
3-2.
I mean, it's almost the exact opposite of what happened in the beginning of the year, when everybody that went up there, they knew they were going to, when they started the game, they knew they were going to score 5, 6, 7 runs. And they all had confidence that they were going to be able to hit the ball hard. And they did. Now it's just the opposite.
(3-2). Lowy walking. Well, it's been a tale of 2 months, that's for sure. Yankees hit .295 as a team in April, .242 here in May. And you see the other drops around baseball. Royals drop. The Angels drop precipitously. The Devil Rays and also the Oakland A's. For the Yankees, the biggest drop of all, a drop of 53 points.
That's where Juan Rivera can make some, speaking of points, he can make some points. I think he's got a chance to be a good 280, 300 hitter, because one of his strengths here at Yankee Stadium, he can take the ball the other way. Right now he's got a nice hole between first and second.
Tries to take it the other way, lofts it to right field. Millar's there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. So Mendoza works out of trouble. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. We go to the 7th at the stadium. 4-2 Yankees lead.
On a center stage special event, Donnie Baseball on his love for the game.
I never lost that fire to play.
And the fans.
I knew I owed him everything, and I wasn't going to be able to give him everything.
Center Stage Don Mattingly premieres tonight after the postgame.
Only on Yes.
Hey, Andy Pettitte, do you think he wants to get to the mound? Come on, get out of the way.
I got work to do.
Plus, it's getting to that time when they start warming the bullpen up, and the problems the Yankees have, the starters are going to say, I want to stay out there as long as I can.
And he'll face Hillenbrand to start the 7th. Pitches high. Double-barreled action in the Yankee bullpen. Osuna, the right-hander, Hammond, the left-hander. Hillenbrand 0 for 2 against Pettitte. Grounded to third, popped to short. Bottom third of the order. As the Yankees try to even up this 3-game set, this is the middle game. Grounded to short. Jeter with a nice hop. 1 away.
And no disrespect for the Yankee bullpen, but as a starter right now, and the problems they're having, well, you've got to talk yourself into staying out there as long as you can. There's Chris Hammond and Osuna, like a lot of the visiting players, and again, you hear the rumblings that there's nobody coming out of that Yankee bullpen until you get to Mariano. That really scares you, like they used to with Carsey and even Ramiro Mendoza and Stanton. Guys that gave the other team the impression, hey, the starter's out, but the guys coming in now are just as good or better, and that's not the case right now until they get to Mo.
And the 1-0. Driven out to deep right center field. Giving chase is Matsui. He's there. He puts it away for the 2nd out of the inning. And boy, this is what Pettitte needed. Maybe they could even get an 8th inning out of him. Hey, come out to Yankee Stadium on Thursday afternoon, June 12th at 1:05 as the Yankees close out a 3-game interleague series with the Houston Astros. The first 18,000 fans, 21 and over, will receive a Yankee CD holder courtesy of Microsoft. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. You can call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or log on to Yankees.com. Andy's at 104 pitches as Jason Varitek digs in. Foul back.
See what you have to do right now if you're a starter and you come in at the end of an inning and you see Mel and he's got that clicker in his hand. You say, hey, Mel, there's a phone call. And when he gets up, you grab the clicker as a starter, and you put it to 0 and you put up to about 85 pitches. You say, I only got 85. You got to do whatever you can to try to stay in there.
Now, you get into trouble if you roll back the odometer on a car.
Yeah.
Right.
But you don't get into trouble if you can pull it off of your pitching coach.
That's a lot of clicking to do in a hurry.
Not if you stomp on it.
First of all, I think if I got it, I'd throw it away.
And the count 1-2. Well, maybe one of your rotation mates could help.
Yeah.
Time is called. 4-2 Yankees, top of the 7th inning. First place Red Sox, second place Yankees. And the 1-2 stays alive. Pettitte has driven in one of the 2 Red Sox runs with a bloop single to left field with 2 outs in the 5th inning. The other one was driven in by Manny Ramirez, a ground rule double in the 6th.
That's about the 3rd pitch that they've elevated the pitch on Pettitte, and he hasn't been able to get around on it yet.
1-2. Strike 3 outside corner. Pettitte down looking. Must have been looking for something else. 5 in a row for Pettitte, a 1-2-3 7th inning, and Mel still has the clicker. At the end of 6.5, get up and stretch. It's the Yankees 4, the Red Sox 2 as you're standing, though. Why don't you listen to the voice of Yankee Stadium, Mr. Bob Shepard.
Now please offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the service men and women who are stationed around the globe. And also remember those who have lost their lives defending our freedom and our way of life. Now, please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
This season, my teammates and I are going to work as hard as we can with hopes that our fans will log on to Yankees.com and vote for one of us as the Continental Airlines Work Hard, Fly Right Player of the Year. We're dedicated to putting in those extra hours on the field, in the clubhouse, and everywhere else. So log on to Yankees.com and be eligible to win a trip to a Yankees away game. Continental Airlines, Work Hard, Fly Right.
Popcorn, get your popcorns. They're ready and hot.
This studio update brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford store. I'm Fred Hickman. First, in Kansas City, the Royals and the Mariners. You know the Royals have lost 12 of their last 15. This isn't going to help. Edgar Martinez, his second homer of the game in the 3rd inning. It's 11-0. And in Minnesota, the A's and Twins, Corey Koski in the 1st, taking Zito deep. So, the Minnesota Twins jump out in front early, and there you have it from A's to Zito. Back to Michael, Jim, and Bobby. We'll see you on the post.
Boy, big series. Fred is sharp.
Yes,
he to Zito. Oh, is he good? No ball. It's going to cost some money to get that autographed baseball.
Well, with your name on it, it is. The rest of us we'd sign it for nothing. But
absolutely.
Okay, I would too. I mean, you get those big autograph show fees. You just don't give it away.
I'll tell you what happens is that you just don't get asked that often. And when you do, you better make sure you take care of it.
How many do you need? Bottom of the 7th, the difference in the game, Todd Zeile's 2-run home run in the 5th inning. And there's a strike.
Guess Andy Pettitte has talked his way into pitching the 8th inning. Or Joe Torre said, I want him out there.
Now the bullpen today for the Yankees is one pitcher short. Jose Contreras has been a reliever, but he is going to start Friday against the Tigers in Detroit because David Wells has a contusion on his calf and he's limping around the ballpark, so he's not going to be able to go. They will start Contreras. Now the rest of that weekend rotation, Jeff Weaver will go on Saturday. There was some thought maybe Roger Clemens would stay in rotation, but he's going to get that extra day because of the off day on Thursday. He'll pitch Sunday, try for win number 300 again against the Tigers at Comerica. And the reason that Joe Torre is starting Weaver on Saturday rather than on Friday, he did not want him getting pumped up for Detroit. First day in, he wants them to just calm down a little before he pitches against his former team. But it's a pretty big start for Weaver. Ground ball at third. Hillenbrand tries the barehand. He can't, so that's a base hit for Zeile.
Now when you see Brocious and Nettles and Ventura, when you see him make that play and make it look routine, then you can appreciate it because Hillenbrand cannot field it with the bare hand cleanly.
Yeah, time after time again, especially when Scott Brocious was here. He hardly ever missed a ball like that. He had that claw that he picked that ball up with, where he got his fingers in like a claw. He did that as good as anybody I've ever seen at third.
And that'll bring up Derek Jeter. He bunts down the third baseline. It's a beautiful bunt. Mendoza feels he has to eat the ball. Base hit. That's a great bunt by Derek Jeter.
Well, that's another element of Derek Jeter's offense, and you just don't see him use it that often. But he is a good bunter. And a lot of these plays like this will loosen that infield up for you, too. In the back of their minds, the next time you go up there, they have to play maybe a step closer or half a step closer, and you could drive it by them. But that's a good play by Derek. Like to see him utilize that a little more often.
Boy, I tell you, Shea Hillenbrand is saying they're picking on me. Once they see you bobble a couple, here's another chance. See if you can field this. That's just perfect execution. Deadens it. Nobody had a chance to get Derek on that one.
And when you're bunting in that situation, you either bunt it perfect or you bunt it foul. You don't want to make an out.
Pitch to Matsui is a strike. Yankees lead the Red Sox 4-2, looking for more here in the bottom of the 7th inning at the stadium. Zeile's at second, Jeter's at first, nobody out. The 0-1. Low. Just finishing up the story about Weaver. Joe Torre was asked, well, what if Contreras pitches well on Friday? Obviously, David Wells is coming back. Is there a chance Weaver could lose a spot in the rotation? He said, we'll have to see how he pitches on Saturday. So it's very much up for grabs. Rolled the hands over, pulled it again. They get the out at second. That's all they get. We've seen a lot of that from Matsui, trying to pull the ball and then hitting a soft ground ball to second base.
Yeah, I think the reason that you didn't see Joe ask him to bunt in that situation, when you've been a home run hitter and an MVP over in Japan, you just do not ask to get to bunt very often. There's the pitch Michael's talking about. He was outside, rolled the hands over, tapped it softly to second.
Yeah, Joe didn't. I don't think Joe asked Jeter to bunt either. He bunted on his own because Hillenbrand was way back at third base and he took a good shot at it. And that's what you got to do. That's what I like hitters to do when they go to the home plate, is that there's all kinds of different ways. Look how far Hillenbrand is back at third base with Jeter and the speed. And Jeter saw that, so he just took advantage of it. All he's got to do is get the ball on the ground towards third, and it's a base hit.
While Grady Little, the manager, goes out and has a talk with Ramiro Mendoza. A big spot in the ball game right here. Runners on the corners. And Alfonso Soriano, a .340 hitter in these situations, at the plate. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Fouled off the other way. Yankees lead 4-2. Zeile's at third. Matsui is at first. And the 0-1. Chased a breaking ball away. The count 0-2.
Took 2 shots to right. Now he'll probably dig in for himself with 0-2. Alfonso, by design, was trying to hit that ball in the hole between first and second.
The 0-2. Driven out to center field. It'll be interesting. Tagging up is Zeile. The catch is made by Damon. Here's the throw. And it's off the first base line. Zeile scores a sac fly by Soriano. Yankees lead 5-2.
Well, Johnny Damon, not a good arm in center field. And, of course, Zeile taking advantage of that. Looked like it was going to be a bang-bang play, but neither Ramirez or Damon has a good arm in the outfield.
Here's Giambi. They do not shift on Giambi with a runner on first. At least not drastically. Garciaparra shades up the middle, but he is on the third base side of the bag. Giambi is 1 for 3, single to right in the first, popped to first, and then reached on an E7. Driven out to deep left field. Going back is Ramirez. It's over his head and up against the wall. Matsui's at third. They'll hold him right there as Ramirez gets the throw in quickly to Garciaparra. So that's what Joe Torre was talking about. I want him to drive the ball to left field, and he did as Ramirez was playing too shallow.
One of the reasons that Joe Torre wants Giambi to try to drive the ball to the opposite field is because Giambi has been out in front of most all the swings that he's been taking. In order to drive the ball to the opposite field, everything has to work perfectly. And Mendoza being a pitcher that's going to stay from the middle plate and a wave on you. If you're pulling off that pitch, you can't drive the ball that way.
So Posada, who has won for his last 16, is going to be intentionally walked. And they will take their chance with Mondesi with the bases loaded.
Be interesting, Bobby, to see in Jason's upcoming at bats whether he now has his timing where he pulls the ball with power, because as you said, that's the way you get that timing. You start hitting it the other way, and then pitchers see that and they try to pitch you inside, and your timing is such that all of a sudden you start turning on the ball.
I actually think Mendoza is a certain type of pitcher that you look to hit the ball the opposite way anyway, just to keep you from pulling off that sinker going down away from you.
Take a look at Mondesi on April 30th against Jamie Moyer. Bases loaded. Gone. A grand slam. So he's in the same situation right now. He'd love to do another curtain call here at the stadium. A crowd of 44,769. Mondesi has 5 grand slams, a .303 hitter with the bases loaded. Matsui's on third. Giambi at second. Posada is at first. So they do not have great speed on the bases, but you don't have to run hard if the ball crosses the wall. Left-hander Matt White is warming for the Red Sox in their bullpen. Yankees could break open the game right here. Give a lot of breathing room to Pettitte and the bullpen before they get to Rivera. Right now it's 5-2, bases loaded. A high fly ball to left field. Mendoza got what he needed. Ramirez puts it away for the final out of the inning. But the Yankees get an insurance run. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the 8th. It's the Yankees 5 and the Red Sox 2.
To the NBA NBA Finals, and Yes is your inside source. With special post-game coverage from Fred Hickman, Ian Eagle, Kelly Tripucka, and Leslie Bogosian, plus insider previews of the finals. The Yes Network is your home for extended Nets coverage.
Now we head to the top of the 8th inning. The Yankees now up by 3 runs. Andy Pettitte has 6 strikeouts tonight. And we'll take a look at him. Fastball in the outside corner to Miller. Backdoor slider to Garciaparra. Millar chases a high fastball, and then a cutter down and in. Veritek frozen on a fastball on the outside corner. Andy Pettitte trying to break a career-high 2-game losing streak at Yankee Stadium.
And 4 overall. Top of the 8th inning. Pettitte deals to Damon upstairs. That's his 110th pitch. Now, the reason he's out there in the 8th is he threw only 9 pitches in the 7th inning. You see Osuna, if there's 6 outs to get, he'll get 3. Or Mariano, if there's maybe 4 outs to get. So Joe Torre, I think today, is willing to use Mariano Rivera for more than an inning.
Plus Damon's the left-handed leadoff batter.
And the 1-1. There's a strike. Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, with a bit of a late call. He's held Damon in check. 0 for 3. And the 1-2. Rip foul. Andy Pettitte has given the Yankees exactly what they needed. Yankees lead 5-2. And this has been his best performance this month. The 1-2. Low. And Joe Torre, the Yankee manager, accentuating that before the game. Don't point fingers at the hitters. I know we have injuries, but we had injuries when Derek Jeter was out. We still won because we got good pitching. We get good pitching, we'll start to win again. Yankee starters have struggled of late. Here's the 2-2. Rip foul again.
Is that the judge down there?
Yeah, they're picking on George. Wow. Man, that's 2 or 3 of them down there.
Took the brunt of that one, didn't he?
That's his left field counterpart, Skippy.
Skippy's saying, hit me one down here.
2-2. Fouled away. I told Skippy he's been on Yes Network a lot.
Yeah.
He said, well, you guys are real nice. I said, you've been making some good plays. He said, well, I know I'm going to get on TV if I make them.
Keep up the good work. Look at there. Judge is pointing to where the ball hit him, I think. Up around the in line.
Chopped to second base. Soriano with a tough hop. And Gaiman flying down the line, 1 away.
Well, tonight after the postgame on Yes, join my colleague Michael Kay. He'll sit down with the Yankee great Don Mattingly on the premiere of a special center stage. Find out what Donnie Baseball has to say about his days as a player, his love for the Yankees on center stage. Don Mattingly premiering tonight after the postgame, only on Yes.
Here's Bill Miller. And there's a strike. 7 1/3 innings is a season high for Andy Pettitte this year.
Well, if he gets Bill Miller out, he's pitched a complete game, because any more trouble after that, Mariano's going to be in there for 4 outs.
And the 0-1. 1-1.
We're talking about that pitch counter and how, we all fall into the trap of using it because it's on scoreboards and all over. But the way a manager psychologically could use it to his advantage, too, is to, when a pitcher thinks he's a little out of gas and he's thrown 110, psychologically you just say, hey, you only got 90 pitches, you ought to be feeling good.
Ground ball at third, backhanded smoothly by Ventura across the diamond to he makes third base look very easy.
Well, we talked about Andy relying on that defense, especially on the left side of the infield. And Robin Ventura makes it look easy for the second out here in the 8th inning.
Well, Kitty called it. That's probably it for Andy Pettitte. He didn't have to get into any trouble. Joe Torre signals to the bullpen, and he is going to bring in Mariano Rivera. And listen to the hand that Andy Pettitte gets. thunderous ovation for Andy Pettitte in stark contrast to the last time he walked off the mound here at Yankee Stadium, where he was soundly booed. We'll be back. Stay right here. So Andy Pettitte gets relieved by Joe Torre, and Joe Torre goes to Antonio Osuna. Listen to the ovation from the crowd of almost 45,000. Well, that feels a lot better than last time. Now Pettitte will watch, and hopefully for him, the Yankees will get the final 4 outs. A streak on the line, 26 straight. Osuna will deal against Garciaparra. Ground ball right back to Osuna. And that'll do it. The crowd is very well aware that they might have stopped Garciaparra's 26-game hitting streak by holding him hitless in 4 at-bats. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Red Sox just went down 1-2-3. Yankees up 5-2.
Commemorate a century of baseball excellence with 100 Years, the official retrospective of the New York Yankees. From Murderer's Row of 1927 to the modern dynasties, here is an inimitable portrait of America's team. Just $50 at Yankee Stadium, or by calling 1-800-GO-YANKS. Also available at leading retailers nationwide.
Hey, Yankee fans, Yankees.com shop has the best selection of Yankees gear, including caps, pullovers, and lots more. Visit Yankees.com and shop online today at the official site of the New York Yankees. Well, no more Garciaparra will have his hitting streak ended unless the Red Sox rally in the 9th inning and get around to him again. But he saw one pitch from Osuna right back to the mound, and the crowd roared in appreciation. So again, if he doesn't get up, it's 26 and over. Now look at that. George is being checked out by Gene Monahan.
I wouldn't be surprised if Monahan wasn't in the clubhouse at the time that we were showing that on TV, and the judge showing, where he was hit. So I think Gino went out there just to make sure he was all right.
That out by Osuna on one pitch is just one pitch and one out, but it's important if you start getting your pitching staff organized like that, where you can depend on Osuna to come in and get one out, and then Hammond, then you start getting things together. Here's Matt White. That's his numbers at Pawtucket, just recently called up.
And this is his major league debut. First pitch ever in the bigs. And it gets away from Varitek, 1-0.
Matt White went to Clemson, and I have a feeling he was a teammate of our colleague Kenny Singleton's son, Justin. Drafted by the Indians, and then the Red Sox plucked him in that Rule 5 draft, and he's very happy because he's actually from Massachusetts, so he's thrilled to be a part of the Red Sox staff.
The 1-0. Low.
His first game was yesterday when he had to come on the bus here to Yankee Stadium. There was 55,000 plus sellout crowd, and Roger Clemens was going for his 300th. He says, you talk about surreal, and I know that that's a cliche, but I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Talking to Grady Little today before the game, and he was saying that he'd like a chance to get White in this game sometime.
Well, baptism under fire right here, and the 3-0. And there's his first big league strike. You would think this setting, Yankee Stadium, that his heart has to be pounding right now. He's been working his whole life to pitch in the big leagues, and here you are against the New York Yankees, the 3-1. And you give up a base hit to Robin Ventura down the line. In the corner, Millar plays the carom, and hustling into second with a double is Robin Ventura. Welcome to the big leagues, Matt White.
Yeah, and you know that being born in Massachusetts, he knows all about the rivalry between the Yankees and the Red Sox. And finally, after that dreaming was over with, he has the reality of being here at Yankee Stadium and pitching to his first batter, Robin Ventura, and he fell behind. And every left-handed batter that I know of will swing at that low inside pitch, and that's exactly what Robin Ventura did.
For your left-hand hitters, that's like putting it on a tee. You throw it down and in.
That's like a banana split.
So now he has to face the right-handed hitting Juan Rivera. Fouled away. Take a look at the Yankees in-game box score. This is up to the moment. Derek Jeter 2 for 4 leadoff home run. Jason Giambi 2 for 4 with a double. Robin Ventura just picked up his second hit, also a home run. Juan Rivera 1 for 3, a run scored. Todd Zeile's had a great day, 2 for 2, a 2-run home run. And the 0-1, a little bit low. People talk about the Yankee bullpen struggling and trying to find some schematic from which to work. Grady Little having the same problems with Boston. They would have a bigger lead in the American League East if they had a bullpen. Their bullpen is struggling. See Rivera, he's 1 for 3. 1-1.
But the Red Sox philosophy is they tied their money up in hitters. They have hitters similar to the Yankees did in the 90s. Good 2-strike hitters. And to give you an idea how rare it is to shut Grady Little's team down like Pettitte and Osuna have so far tonight, of their 50 games played, is it 50 they've played?
Yankees 51.
No, the Red Sox.
Red Sox 50,
yeah.
yes.
38 times they've scored 5 runs. That's or more. That's more than any team in the big leagues.
Yeah, they actually came into this game averaging 6.1 runs a game.
So they do it by trying to get a big enough lead like they did last night where they can get it done with so-so relief pitching. And then Brandon Lyon, who's been their closer, if they lead after 8, he's been great. They've only lost 1 game when they've lost after 8. It's getting to him.
Well, the Red Sox certainly flying in the face of convention. It's hard to win pennants. 9-7, 6-3. Rivera does the job. He moves the runner over the third. Good piece of hitting. 1 away as Ventura advances.
That might be the weakest ball that Juan Rivera's ever hit that he's going to get some handshakes on. That's a much appreciated at bat by the Yankees. Shoot, I thought the whole team of there they come. You got to appreciate a guy take a pitch down and in like that. And here's Joe Torre with his arm around him.
Well, that's what a ball club has to do when they are struggling, especially offensively. They have to do what you call the little things that help you win.
And that forces the Red Sox to bring the infield in for Zeile. And there's a strike. Yankees lead 5-2. Rivera is throwing in the bullpen. If they get another run, you wonder if he'll come in, although he needs the work.
They get 8 runs, I think he'll come in. He's been pawing at that bullpen gate to try to get in a ball game.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched since last Wednesday in Boston.
So today's the 27th. It's been 6 days.
Almost a week.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs the work. Feast or famine out of the bullpen. The 1-1. Driven to right field. Tagging is Ventura. Millar makes the catch. He doesn't even make a throw. Ventura scores easily. That's a sac fly for Zeile. The Yankees play little ball very nicely, and they lead 6-2. Well, that's ABC baseball right there. Doing it the way you have to do it. Bobby just said you have to do the little things right. The Yankees certainly did.
It was pretty much fundamental baseball, especially when Rivera got 2 strikes on him. All he was trying to do was protect the strike zone, and also if he could hit the ball to the right side, and that's what he did.
Here's Derek Jeter, 2 for 4 tonight. Pitch low again. Hillenbrand's playing him deep at third, but he knows with a 4-run lead, Jeter's not going to bunt. But that base hit is available for Jeter almost every time up. If you keep bunting enough, they'll have to creep in.
Earlier in the game, Soriano took a look down at third base, and Hillenbrand was just shaking his head like, go ahead and bunt it down here. I really don't care. They're almost like, go ahead and bunt it down here. Of course, this wouldn't be that one of those times, but I'm saying earlier in the game before there were any runs scored.
Well, the Yankee runs and the bulk of their offense has come at the bottom of the lineup. the bottom third. The Yankees 7, 8, 9 hitters tonight. 6 for 9, 2 home runs, 4 ribbies, and 5 runs scored. There's a strike, 3-1. Todd Zeile's had a great night. So is his buddy Robin Ventura. 3-1. Walk Jeter. So Jeter's been on base 3 times and 5 plate appearances. Hey, Yankee fans, for the latest news, player updates, and Yankee merchandise, all you have to do, click on the computer and visit Yankees.com, the official site of the New York Yankees. Here's Matsui. He's 0 for 4 tonight. 4 for his last 23, down to 256, but he does have 30 runs batted in. There's a strike. There's a ground ball up the middle, a base hit for Matsui. Jeter makes the turn at second. He's going to go to third. The throw is attempted to be cut off by Garciaparra, but backing up is Hillenbrand. So a base hit for Matsui, and the Yankees have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Now, one of the little subtle changes that Matsui has made is back off the plate just a hair. And that slider moves out right over the middle of the plate where he can get the barrel on. That's kind of been his hit. I mean, that ball's not a line drive, but he uses the whole field, makes it contact like we talked about earlier. That's more the kind of hitter he's going to be rather than a power hitter.
Here's Soriano 0 for 3 with a sac fly. His 37th ribby. The pitch is low. Now, Jim mentioned Matt White is a Rule 5 draft pick from the Cleveland Indians, which means that the Red Sox have to keep him on the Major League roster the entire season or offer him back to the Indians. And he actually was in Pawtucket on a rehab assignment. He had a pulled oblique muscle. So he has to perform for them to keep him on this 25-man. They don't want to lose a left-handed arm. And that is fisted the other way, a base hit for Soriano. Jeter scores. Matsui goes to third. Soriano's going for 2. He's in there with an RBI double. And the Yankees lead 7-2.
Boy, it's amazing, Bobby, how good a team can look when they get good pitching and do the little things. There's Soriano turning it on. Every at-bat in this game where it called for a situation, a hit in a situation. Zeile tried to hit it to right field, got a home run. Rivera moved the runner up. Jeter with the bunt. And now Soriano, who you think of as a pull hitter, just served that one over first base. And this is more of the kind of game that Joe Torre was seeing from the Yankees in the late 90s. Late game tack-on baseball.
And most of the time when a team is in a slump like the Yankees have been offensively, most of the time each and every hitter when they go up there, they've either been way out in front and pulling off the ball. So I'm sure Rick Down has tried to impede into their mind that think about hitting the ball the other way. That'll keep that shoulder in a little bit longer.
Giambi takes a strike. Giambi drove the ball the other way last time up over the head of Ramirez. And we were all wondering, will that translate into him pulling the ball now? Rudy Sena as a right-hander warming for the Red Sox. The 0-1. He drives it to left field again. That's going to be trouble, and that is going to dunk in for a base hit. It bounces into the seats. A ground rule double. 2 runs will score, and the Yankees have opened this baby up. They lead 9-2.
Well, for the second time in a row, Jason Giambi driving a ball the opposite field. And with the shift the way they play him, there's no chance for anybody to get close to that ball. So Giambi showing some signs of maybe breaking out of what he has been in a terrible slump where he's been way out in front. He's going to be replaced by Gibson now as a pinch runner at second base. With a couple more RBIs for Giambi. And that's the kind of timely hitting that the Yankees were getting early on in this season.
Posada at the plate. 0 for 3 tonight with an intentional walk. And the pitch is outside. So the Yankees up 9-2, and that will certainly give Mariano Rivera a lot of breathing room in the 9th inning. There's Gibson, who took over for Giambi at second. So Giambi with 3 base hits tonight. A 1-0. There's a strike.
Matt White's going to be calling home tonight, telling his family about his major league debut, but not the kind of results he wanted to call about. Saying, well, at least I got to make my debut in Yankee Stadium.
Family could be watching it on TV right now.
The 1-1.
Well, he's one step better than a former teammate of mine who pitched for his hometown team, Fred Bruckbauer, who pitched for the Twins back in 1961. He's still the only pitcher in the big leagues that has an ERA of infinity. Never got a man out in the big leagues. Gave up a home run to Jim Gentile with the bases loaded.
2-1. So in the baseball encyclopedia, there's just that 8 on its side. The sign for infinity.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Man, I've learned a lot tonight.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
My head is bursting with knowledge. There's a lot of room in there to put that knowledge in. I can tell you, Michael. Keep it up. You know, the one thing about it is, Jim, we believe everything he says.
Of course. I'm making half of it up. The 2-2. Low. Raul Mondesi is on deck. Yankees with 12 hits and 9 runs. Red Sox 5 hits and 2 runs. Red Sox have also booted 2 balls. And the 3-2. Driven out down the right field line. Fair ball, it's gone, but it's a foul ball. Still gone, but foul.
Goose Gossage used to tell me all the time he'd pitch me inside, I'd pull it foul because I was always looking for that fastball, you know, to get out in front. And I'd pull the first 2 pitches he'd throw me almost every time when he was pitching for Pittsburgh. I'd pull it every time foul.
You could pull Goose Gossage's fastball?
Well, I was cheating a little bit too, and I'd pull it foul, and all I'd be is 0-2. He'd have me down, no balls and 2 strikes. I never could keep it fair.
And the 3-2. Upstairs. So Posada walks, and Matt White's inning is over, but not for the Red Sox. Little has seen enough.
Everybody's got to start someplace, Matt. Hang with them.
Yep.
So his major league debut does not go swimmingly, and Little calls on Rudy Cianez. So as Matt White jogs off, the crowd gives him a nice hand. Cianez will face Mondesi. Yankees lead 9-2. Stay right here.
Words are spoken, written, read, and treasured. They express thoughts and feelings and tell the stories of our lives. This year, NBA players and coaches are continuing to share their words.
Lime jelly.
And by promoting reading and online literacy, they are spreading the word that every child should have the chance to read to achieve.
Tell me everything is wonderful.
When you talk about great names and great moments, this is one of them. October 18th, 1977. Reginald Martinez Jackson strokes his 3rd home run of the 6th game of the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. He not only entered the record books himself, but crowned the New York Yankees world champions for the 21st time in their illustrious history.
Interesting guests, lots of good calls, and some dynamics, Mike, between you and me.
I'm still trying to figure out what makes the show work after 14 years.
Mike and the Mad Dog, tomorrow at 1, right here on Yes.
If we haven't figured out what makes it work by now, you know what? We're doing a pretty good imitation.
The greatest curse in sports.
There's no greater theater than Yankees Red Sox.
The greatest comeback in sports.
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent.
The greatest rivalry in sports. The rivalry that Ruth built. Premieres tomorrow at 10:30, only on Yes.
Hey fans, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Yes, the Yankees host the Red Sox in the final game of this home series. Complete coverage begins at 6:30 with Fred Hickman and the Yankees pregame. Then join Michael Kay, Jim Kaat, and me as we call all the action beginning at 7 o'clock. Red Sox versus the Yankees tomorrow night starting at 6:30, and it's only on Yes.
And that's shaping up as the rubber game that the Yankees could hold on. Derek Lowe, who's had a rough time on the road against Mike Messina, trying to break a 3-game losing streak.
Boy, that's a nice shot right there. I like that. There's John Burkett. He's a veteran. You know, nobody knows what to say to Matt White. And he's, hey, we all started someplace. You remember your debut?
Oh, do I ever?
Hit a couple home runs?
I think about the first 2 or 3 days, I never got a hit. I never hit the ball.
I started against the '59 White Sox, who won the pennant that year, went about 2 2/3, got smoked, and in those days the visiting clubhouse was above the home dugout, so you had to go through the home dugout and have all those guys look at you while you walk by. You know, Louis Aparicio and Nellie Fox and Ted Kluszewski, and pretty intimidating.
I think that's what Grady Little was talking about. He said, if I saw a shot, I'd like to get the kid, you know, give him a chance to pitch here at Yankee Stadium.
Well, here's Mondesi. He's the 9th batter to come to the plate. So the Yankees have batted around here in the 8th inning. 4 runs already in, 1st and 2nd with 2 outs, and Cianez deals. And that is blocked by Varitek, rolls away from him, and moving to 3rd is Gibson. Now, John Burkett, who was talking with Matt White, can talk from experience, and you'll see the wild pitch right here. Burkett's major league debut was in 1987 Giants against the Padres. He went 2 innings, 3 earned runs, and he allowed 2 home runs. One by Carmelo Martinez, one by Sean Abner.
So he's saying to Matt White, look what I did, and I'm still here. And I guess John's got a pretty nice contract and carved out a good career. 20-game winner one time with the San Francisco Giants.
And he's a good bowler.
Yeah.
He's bowled a lot of perfect games.
Might be one of the better exercises for pitchers there is. Denny McLain won 31 in 1968. He bowled regularly between starts.
I thought that was playing the organ that really built his arm up.
No, that got him in trouble.
Oh, okay.
How come more pitchers don't bowl?
I don't know.
Did you bowl?
Yeah.
He bowled with his right hand, though.
And that's another wild pitch. Varitek didn't know where it was, so Gibson scores. And now moving to 3rd is Posada. Varitek did not know where that ball was. That is a VWP, a very wild pitch.
Yeah, that's... Grady Little's going to say now you don't get to go to 3rd on that. Wow, that's had some late break.
Checks the action of Varitek as he looks around for the baseball, and finally he picks it up as it's going back to the backstop. So Gibson comes on and scores easily, but Posada moves into 3rd, so another wild pitch. The Yankees pick up another run.
Yankees lead 10-2, and now they lead 11-2. An RBI single for Mondesi. Posada scores. And the Yankees with a big 8th inning to break this one open. 6 runs here in the 8th. They're up 11-2.
That'll turn your hair gray.
Now here's Robin Ventura, who started this all off with a double. Last time the Yankees scored 10 or more runs, May 15th against the Angels when they had 10. Pitch is low.
I'll be back at the good old days.
Yankees trying to snap an 8-game home losing streak and a 5-game losing streak overall. That one is popped up to left field. Ramirez is there, and that will do it. Yankees score 6 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. No errors, and 1 man left. Last licks for the Red Sox. They'll do it against Mariano Rivera. Yankees up 11-2. With very little rain. How about that? And Mariano Rivera gets to come into a game for the first time in 6 games and enter Sandman indeed. Listen to the hand he gets.
No matter how many days it takes for you to come to the mound, you never forget how to get there.
I tell you, that's got to be so cool. You see Mariano's numbers: 8 games, 8 innings. Use him for an inning and appearance, only 2 walks. But can you imagine? We never had to experience that, running in from the bullpen with that sound, that kind of ovation.
Remember, they used to have a car that brought everybody in
to ride in.
Manny Ramirez will lead off against Mariano. Pitches outside. Mariano Rivera is probably the only person that could turn Metallica into mainstream.
This would be a very disheartening at-bat for any hitter that comes up there. Being down by 9 runs and having to face Mariano Rivera in your last at-bat.
There's a ground ball. 1 away. Now, time to take a look at the plays of the game, brought to you by Continental Airline, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right.
Well, let's just see what those plays of the game are. Hey, how about Derek Jeter? Leading off at the bottom of the first inning, the Yankees never looked back. His 2nd home run of the year, and then played a little ball with a bunt down the third baseline for his 2nd base hit. So a home run, a bunt.
The long and the short of it.
How about that, as Mel Allen would say?
Here's Kevin Millar. And the pitch is low.
Pretty obvious it's the best game the Yankees have played in quite some time and lost 8 in a row. But even with the 11-2 score, I think what Joe Torre will probably talk to Susan about after the game is Andy Pettitte set the tone for it.
There's a strike.
Now, he came out those first 3 innings at a perfect game for 3. Got a couple of runs to work with and shut down Nomar's streak.
Stopped at 26 straight. Unless the Red Sox could stage a little bit of a rally. There's a strike. Mariano's been featuring the 2-seamer inside to right-handers a lot this year. We haven't seen him that much, but he's staying away from the cutter to righties. Give them a different look so they can't always look away, look away. The 1-2. That one is away.
One of the things that he has done, instead of staying with the cutter on the outside part of the plate up in this area right here, he's cutting the ball, and he's starting it inside for a ball, and it cuts down back on the inside part of the plate, and those hitters give up on it. An inning uses 2-seamer to go in there also.
2-2. A high fly ball to left field. Going back is Rivera in the corner, and that's off the foul pole for a home run for Kevin Millar. A solo shot. The Yankee lead is now 11-3.
And Bobby, when you diagram that cutter, that's the danger of it. You do freeze some hitters. You see Posada set up in there, but that cutter, it becomes a hanging breaking ball to a hitter like Millar, unless you know, when you swing at that pitch, it's a very hittable pitch. Go foul, says Mo. Not tonight.
That's the first home run allowed by Rivera this year. That'll bring up David Ortiz. And there's a strike. There's a ground ball and a base hit up the middle to the right of Soriano into right center field, and Mondesi will get the ball back in. So David Ortiz with a one-out single.
Nice situation for the Yankees putting that 6th spot up, because Mariano hasn't been out there in 6 days, so he's getting a little of the rust off. There's the long ball by Millar right off the fair pole. Wow, that thing was up there.
Now you want an optimist? Juan Rivera was leaping for the ball. It was about 30 feet high.
Yeah, well, he feels pretty good. He's had a good game. He's jumping for joy.
And the pitch to Hillenbrand's inside. Not much success against Rivera, but the one hit he got was a home run.
A big one.
Onto the screen to win a game. That was last year, the 1-0. Driven out to right field and deep. Going back is Mondesi in the corner. He'll make the play on the warning track for the 2nd out of the inning. So Red Sox are getting decent swings against Rivera. For the first word at the last out, just stay tuned for the Nissan postgame with Fred Hickman and Susan Waldman, featuring detailed analysis of tonight's game, interviews with players plus scores, and highlights from around the league. The Nissan postgame immediately following the game right here on Yes. And you'll be anxious to hear what Joe Torre says about Andy Pettitte. And Susan Waldman will also, I'm sure, interview Andy Pettitte. So you'll hear from all the principals in this game that could break the Yankees' 5-game losing streak. Here's Jeremy Giambi. Pitches inside. Yankees are up 11-3. Big healthy cut, 1-1. Rivera, his first action in 6 days. 1-1. Up and away. The 2-1 pitch. Mariano struggling with command and location. The count 3-1, and that's understandable because of the long layoff.
Not only that, but you seldom see good closers pitching in these 8-run games. They're better in a 1-run game.
There's a fastball right down the middle, 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. He struck him out. The Yankee losing streak is over. Yankees win this one 11-3. And they win for the first time in 9 games at Yankee Stadium. They snap a 5-game losing streak. They get great starting pitching, clutch hitting, and the bullpen does its job as well. So the long wait is over here in the Bronx. Yankee fans can finally see a Yankee victory. Another streak is over, 26 in a row for No More Garciaparra ends with an 0-for-4 tonight. And the Yankees can breathe a deep sigh of relief because they can truly say, thanks, we needed that. When we come back, we'll break it down and then we'll wrap it up. All of that coming up next as the Yankees avoid a bottom of the 9th inning, 11-3 winners.
The cover on another season of Yankees Magazine on Yes. It's everything Yankees, including an inside look at what it's like to be a Bronx Bomber.
Not only being a champion, but being a champion on a team so rich in tradition and history as the Yankees made it even more special.
Plus, insight from coaches, cover stories, quick looks, and spotlights.
Every moment's a big moment for me.
For cover-to-cover coverage of the 26-time world champion Yankees, watch Yankees Magazine, only on Yes.
Well, the Yankees' 5-game losing streak is over. They lost their last 8 straight at Yankee Stadium, but tonight a victory against the first-place Red Sox to narrow the gap to a game and a half in the American League East. Yankees 11-13-0, Red Sox 3-7-2. Andy Pettitte snaps a 4-game personal losing streak. He evens up at 5-5. Bruce Chen took the loss 0-1. Time of the game, a manageable 2 hours and 55 minutes. The Yankees went long ball again tonight. Jeter his second, Ventura his 8th, and Zeile a 2-run shot his 5th. Pettitte, 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, his longest outing of the year, and possibly his most important as well, as the Yankees desperately needed a win, and they got it to even up this 3-game set at a game apiece. The rubber game is tomorrow night at the stadium. Coming up on the Yes Network, the Nissan New York Yankees postgame with Fred Hickman and Susan Waldman, featuring complete analysis of tonight's game. Special thanks to our producer, Kevin Smolin, director John Moore, and executive producer, John Filippelli. Join us again tomorrow for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the Boston Red Sox right here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The action gets underway at 6:30 with the New York Yankees pregame show. For more on the Yes Network, log on to yesnetwork.com. For Jim Kaat and Bobby Murcer, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Once again, the final score, Yankees snap a 5-game losing streak. They beat the Red Sox 11-3. And now let's go to Fred Hickman in our studio.
Well, thanks a million, Michael Kay, and welcome everybody to our Yes Studios and tonight's edition of the Nissan Postgame Show. Final score from the stadium, a very happy one for the Yankees as they win it 11-3 over the Boston Red Sox and heading into what is now the rubber game of the series coming up tomorrow. Oh, a reminder to please stay tuned immediately following the postgame show for Center Stage featuring Don Mattingly. He'll be, of course, on with Michael Kay. It is the premiere edition. Some very interesting stuff. You won't want to miss that. Well, right now we want to get back to the ball game. 11-3 as the Yankees break that 5-game losing streak. Andy Pettitte does give them his longest outing of the year, breaks that personal 4-game losing streak, and wins for the first time in the month of May. And this is not him. That is funny side jockey Jose Santos saddling into town. He'll be riding in the Belmont in a little bit over a week, looking for history there, the Triple Crown. Top of the first 2 outs, Andy Pettitte goes to work, freezing up Nomar Garciaparra looking. Then bottom one, Derek Jeter leads off the Yankee order by blasting one, yanking the solo home run to left off Bruce Chen. His second of the year puts the Yankees on the board first 1-0. From there to the bottom of the second, and Robin Ventura sits back nicely and then just lobs one over the right field wall off Chen. Robin's 8th of the year, 2-0 Yanks. Top 3, 2 are gone, and Andy Pettitte is dealing. Strikes out Jason Varitek swinging to end the frame. Top of the 5th, 2 outs. First and second, and Jason Varitek gets his revenge on Pettitte as he strokes a single to left. Juan Rivera bobbles it. That allows David Ortiz to score, and now it is 2-1 in favor of the Yanks. Bottom 5, runner on first, Todd Zeile. That is smoked. 2-run drive to right off Chen, Zeile's 5th home run of the season, and it's 4-1 Yankees. Now, top 8, 1 out, 5-2 Yanks. Andy Pettitte gets Bill Miller to ground out to third, and that would be his last batter of the night. Pettitte, 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Great tip of the cap, and the fans really appreciated it. Next batter, Antonio Osuna. 1 pitch, 1 out. Does his job. Garciaparra's 26-game hitting streak is over. Bottom of the 8th, the Yankees went nuts. It's 7-2, second and third. Giambi cracks a grounds rule double to the opposite field off Matt White, scoring Hideki Matsui and Alfonso Soriano to make it 9-2. They tack on a couple more to go on and win it by a final count of 11-3. Most runs scored by the Yankees in 12 games. As a matter of fact, since May 8th, when they scored 16 against the Angels. A 6-run 8th inning, also the biggest inning they've had since a frame of that game when they were able to go to town on the 8th of May as well. So a good job overall by the Yankees tonight as they go on to win it 11-3. Bringing us to call of the game, of course, Michael Kay, Jim Kaat, Bobby Murcer, and guys, had it all tonight. You got length and you got quality from Andy Pettitte. You got good situational hitting up and down the order. The only guy who doesn't get a hit is Jorge Posada, but he walks twice and scores a run. That's a breath of fresh air.
Well, the Yankees needed this is for sure. Obviously, it's late May, and it's not a must game, but the Yankees needed it for their own psyche, so they break a 5-game losing streak. And before the game, Joe Torre put the onus on the starting pitchers. Forget about the hitting, forget about the defense. Everything starts with the starters, and it did tonight with Andy Pettitte. We'll start with Jim. He seemed a little bit more confident out there. He had better pacing, and that looked like the old Andy Pettitte, not the guy who's lost 4 in a row.
Yeah, he took the mound like he was saying, you know, jump on my shoulders. I'm driving the bus today. And that's what Joe Torre mentioned. That's what he needs. And it was a big game for all of us because now when we walk the streets, we don't have to keep hearing, what in the world is wrong with the Yankees today? Somebody said, maybe they bring the Staten Island Yankees up for a game or two. So this will quiet everybody down for a little while.
And the one thing that the Yankees get, Bobby, and it's important for them, is that this is always a place that they play very, very well. Throughout the championship years, they get fat here at Yankee Stadium. They play 500 on the road. And having lost 12 out of 13, it's almost incomprehensible. So they have to get back to winning here in the Bronx.
Yeah, I don't think this team, anybody ever thought that this team was as bad as they were playing. I mean, they played some pretty bad baseball, but the better days were ahead, and I think we see some signs of that coming up in this game tonight, especially from the offense. I mean, the offense has pretty much been stagnant over the last couple of weeks. But tonight with Jason Giambi driving a couple of balls to the opposite field, I think the only way that you can do that from a hitter standpoint is that you have to do everything right mechanically. And Juan Rivera going to the opposite side, they did some things tonight that were really positive as far as fundamental baseball was concerned. Moving that runner from second to third, bunting for a base hit, starting a big inning. I mean, there was a lot of positive signs tonight offensively.
Now, is it too early to be worried about a game in the context of the pennant race, Bobby? This game gets the Yankees within 1.5 of the Red Sox. Obviously, it's the end of May. We shouldn't be stressing over it, but I guess the bottom line, a win is a win, especially when it's against the team in front of you.
Well, obviously, you know, it's always big to beat the guys that are in front of you, but I think it's still a little bit early, you know, to be speaking about that. Jim was talking about it earlier before this telecast. Both of these ball clubs are a little bit worse than they were last year at this time of year as far as their win-loss records were concerned. And the Yankees have been in this slide for quite some time now. They're only a game and a half back of the Boston Red Sox now, and it's only May.
You know, a lot of times when teams are struggling, Jim, what you get is a manager who reads the team the riot act. That's not the kind of manager that the Yankees have in their clubhouse. And Joe Torre was remarkable today in the way he sat at the bench and the media surrounding him, and they're peppering him with questions, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, are you nervous? And the guy just never loses his calm.
Well, because I think Joe Torre's seen enough baseball, and he knows, as he mentioned to you, the starting pitching is what's going to make him feel good about this ball club. And as much as every phase of the Yankee game had gone south, they weren't pitching well, they weren't fielding well, they weren't hitting with men in the clutch. They had a lot of mental lapses. Today, I mean, it's amazing how good a team looks when they just do the ordinary things in an extraordinary way, and that's what the Yankees did today.
Now, when the Yankees went 16-0 with their starting pitching at the beginning of the year, we said sometimes it gets contagious. Does Mike Mussina see a game like this, and does he snap out of his little malaise?
Well, he might. I don't know if it's because the pitching would get contagious. I think, first of all, early in the year, they played Tampa Bay, they played Minnesota when they weren't playing well. A lot has to do with when you're catching a team. If you played Kansas City in April, might have been in trouble. Now Kansas City's having trouble beating anyone. So, and couple that with the fact that Mike Mussina has always pitched pretty well against Boston.
Well, Bobby, the rubber game is tomorrow night, and then the Yankees move on to Detroit. And I think an interesting situation occurs with Contreras starting on Friday and Jeff Weaver starting on Saturday. And Joe Torre did not deny that both of those guys could be pitching for a spot in the rotation. Is that good or bad for these guys? Does it jack them up or make them feel the pressure?
Well, I don't know. They went to that competition during spring training. It was Jeff Weaver who won out over Contreras. Now Contreras gets a chance to show Joe Torre in a starting role here during this important season. You know, the last two times that Contreras was out there for the Yankees, he really showed some positive signs. The first time that I've seen him really pop his fastball, which made his split finger almost unhittable. So we'll see what happens.
Now, the interesting thing is that Joe Torre said before the game he can see Contreras in any role because of what Bobby said. Last couple of times that Contreras pitched, he pitched very, very well. But they did sign him as a starter. Now, do you think that Jeff Weaver reacts positively to this, Jim? Because the pitcher that we saw in spring training, I remember at that time we both said this guy's a #1 type starter. He's been anything but. Does he crawl into a shell because he knows he's pitching for his job again, or does that raise him up a level?
That's what we're going to find out. And I think very subtly when Joe Torre said he's not going to start Weaver on Friday night because he wants to give him a day not to get all pumped up, I really think the underlying reason there is that he's saying Contreras starts Friday. If Contreras pitches lights out, there it is for Jeff Weaver. He's got to go out there a little extra motivated and say, Saturday, if I want to keep my job. And that's great to have competition within a pitching staff.
Well, absolutely. They'll have that competition, but first they have to play the rubber game tomorrow. It's a great pitching matchup. Mike Mussina against Derek Lowe should be fun here at the stadium. The Yankees will have their Dauber just a little bit up more than it was the last time because they had lost 5 in a row coming into this game. Jim likes the fact that I said Dauber. We go back to you, Fred Hickman.
I'd like Dauber as well, guys. What a difference a day makes, right? We're all happy and smiling people. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, Fred.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We have a lot more to come on the New York Yankees postgame show on Yes. We've yet to hear from the skipper, Joe Torre, of course, Susan Waldman with her clubhouse report, and much more. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Yes Network is your home for championship viewing. It's Yankees baseball on Yes. Tomorrow, Jason Giambi and the Yanks look to stop the Sox when division powerhouses collide in another bash from the Bronx. Join Fred Hickman for complete pregame coverage tomorrow starting at 6:30, only on Yes. On a center stage special event, Donnie Baseball on his love for the game.
I never lost that fire to play.
And the fans.
I knew I owed him everything, and I wasn't going to be able to give him everything.
Center Stage Don Mattingly premieres next.
Only on Yes.
And a special reminder, we want you to stay tuned immediately following the post-game show for Center Stage featuring Don Mattingly, the premiere edition, coming up right after the post-game show tonight. Welcome back to the New York Yankees post-game show on Yes. The Yankees winning 11-3 over the Boston Red Sox. Once again, the most runs scored by the Yankees since May the 8th when they rang up 16 against the Seattle Mariners. So a lot for Joe Torre to feel good about. The pitching performance of Andy Pettitte, of course, the timely hitting in the offense. And let's hear what the skipper had to say to Susan Wallman after the game.
What was the difference in Andy Pettitte tonight?
Yeah, it just looked like he had a good focus on the night. It just looked like he was locked in, stayed with a plan, and got out of some jams. And I was very proud of the way he pitched tonight.
So many ground balls, strikeouts, particularly to that left side. So that plan included getting back to getting ground balls.
No question. I mean, he's a down type pitcher. He knows it, but every once in a while he gets teased maybe by a fastball. He throws by somebody. But he stayed within himself tonight, and he gave us a big lift.
Okay, Jeter leads off with the home run, then also has a bunt, so trying to get the offense going both ways.
Well, again, he was bunting to get the runner over to second base, and he just made a perfect bunt, so it worked out for us.
You had talked before the game about Giambi wanting him to hit with authority to left field, the 2 doubles to left. That looks like that stroke maybe is coming back.
Yeah, I mean that was good tonight. It has to be good for his for his confidence. It was a good game all the way around. We had some key hits and some situations. The only runs we were scoring, and after the first 2 runs we scored were 2 home runs, solo home runs. But it was it was good to see just doing some things to play the game.
And bottom of the order, 6 for 9, really looked good. Nice nice hit to the right side by Rivera to get the runner over to third.
I mean, that kid did a nice job. I went over and talked to him after he did it, and I said, it's just the first 2 strikes is all we require when we try to get them to do that. But he took it upon himself to do it all 3 strikes, and that was important.
Does one game get people just to relax a little bit?
Well, hopefully. Obviously this is just one game, and we need to build on it. And tomorrow it'll be up to Moose to hopefully do that.
Manager Joe Torre moments ago with Susan Wallman. Susan joining us now live from Yankee Stadium with the man who had the plan tonight on the Hill.
You bet, Fred, and that's exactly what Joe Torre said about Andy Pettitte. He had the plan. And we're joined by the Pettitte family. Andy, Joshua, and Jared. Say hi, wave to the camera. Okay, Josh never used to be this shy when he was little. Now he's grown up. He doesn't do that. Tell us, Joe talked about that you looked like you had a plan. What was that plan? What was different for you tonight?
Really, again, just like I think I had been saying, I just felt like my focus hadn't been, where it needed to be, and just trying to block everything out. Talked to Georgie before the game, basically, went over what we wanted to do, and he called a great game. I stayed with him on it, and just tried to see the pitches before I threw them and just get my focus where it needed to be.
The early couple of innings, you had some ground balls and you had some strikeouts early that were really good. What was working for you? I think we got a couple of them here. What was working for you?
Really just everything. I felt great. I was putting the ball right where I wanted to. Had a good sinker working. My curveball was good. Painting some balls away. Just really early, everything. I was really got locked in. And that's what I've always tried to do, is just get locked in, put some zeros up there, let our guys score some runs. And I'll tell you, it was tough. I mean, when guys got on base, it was, Hillenbrand hit one, you thought might have been gone. I mean, just so many things have been going bad for us. So many things have been going bad when I've been out there on the mound, and just it was a battle. I mean, it was 11-3, but it was a very, very close game.
Was there a point, Joe had talked in this stretch where you weren't winning, that maybe you were trying to do too much, that you're not Roger Clemens, and maybe if you concentrated on sinking the ball the way you do and getting those ground outs, it's better for you than trying to power everything up. Was there any of that? You're trying to make the perfect pitch?
There's no doubt. I mean, I've been feeling strong and probably been overthrowing some, and my ball straightens out, and there's no doubt about that. After my last start, I got with Mel and got with Joe, and they've just supported me so much. Got all the confidence in the world in me. Know that I'm, was going to just get on the right track, and that helps so much. But just, I feel like I've been overthrown a little bit, and just get back and relax and sink the ball and move the ball around, and then, throw balls by at some guys.
What's this stretch been like for you? I mean, this was uncharted territory for you, 4 losses in a row. What was that like? What did you go through?
It was strange because the first three, I felt like I really didn't pitch that bad, and just felt like everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong, the first three that I lost. And then in Toronto, it was just like I was just out there just throwing the ball and no concentration at all. So really just started just doing stuff that I usually don't do. So this game's so mental. I mean, people don't realize it until you step out there on the line, but, you know, the guys started swinging the bat. We got late in the game. We still had the lead, and I think the guys got more comfortable and looser, and just things just start going right for you.
What's it like for you finally, walking off the standing ovation? I saw Clemens went over to you, hugs all around, standing ovation for you, chipped your cat. A little bit different than the last time you came off.
Well, I mean, you know, again, it's just great. It was Skip comes out there, and I wanted to stand. I felt great, and he said, I want these fans to cheer for you walking off here, and that's what kind of manager he is. He knows I've been going through a hard stretch and getting booed, and he wanted them to be able to cheer for me, so it was just very gratifying, obviously.
Andy, thanks an awful lot, as always. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Jared.
Did you say thanks?
Okay, Fred, back to you.
Yeah, I want some of that ice cream. Thanks a lot, Susan Waldman, Andy, and family. We'll take a break here, but we'll be back to wrap up this edition of the New York Yankees postgame show on Yes. Andy Pettitte, longest outing of the year, and it was a quality one. 11-3, the Yankees are winners.
Yankees action is so hot, it's worth watching twice. And you'll see it all on Yankees Encore. When the game is over, relive the great plays of 2003 Yankees baseball. Yankees Encore. Tonight at 11:30, only on Yes. On the next Yankees Classic.
Another chance to the left side.
Relive the beginning of a modern-day dynasty as the Yankees clinch the '96 series.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Yankees Classics, Thursday at 7:30, only on Yes.
Guests of the post-game show receive a gift certificate from Wharton's, the Steakhouse. And welcome back to the New York Yankees post-game show on Yes. The Yankees winning at 11-3 over the Boston Red Sox. The 8-game home losing streak is over. The 5-game overall losing streak is over. And the Yankees looking very, very solid offensively tonight. Derek Jeter, the leadoff home run in the game. He was 2 for 4 in the contest. And more importantly, no strikeouts in the game. So the Yankees offense doing all those small things they needed to do to break the streak and to get the victory. And after the game, Derek spoke with our Susan Waldman.
First of all, Derek, talk a little bit about Andy Pettitte's performance tonight.
Outstanding. You know, that's exactly what we needed. You know, the easiest way to stop losing streaks is to have a quality pitching performance, and he was outstanding from the start. You know, we got him some runs early, but he held him in check there.
Joe, talking about you, the home run and then that bunt, taking what is given, are those the kinds of things that you like to see with this team?
Well, yeah, you have to. I mean, especially when you're struggling to score runs, you got to do whatever you can to move guys into position, and you know, I've always done it, and I continue to do it. But, you know, it was good for us to come out. Everyone swung the bats well.
Did you like bottom of the order, 6 for 9, everybody getting on base, a couple of home runs from the bottom of the order? How important is that for?
It's huge. I mean, you know, we haven't been swinging the bats that well collectively, and today everyone really got involved. So you like to see that. If you're going to win, you need 25 guys, and today we got contributions from everyone.
Can one game make everybody relax a little bit here?
Well, you at least relax for a night, and we face Lowe tomorrow, so he's not fun to face even when you're swinging the bats well. So, you know, it's good for us. We needed this one.
Jeter with one of 3 home runs on the evening. Todd Zeile cracked one as well. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap up things for you right after this.
On a center stage special event, Donnie Baseball on his love for the game.
I never lost that fire to play.
And the fans.
I knew I owed him everything, and I wasn't going to be able to give him everything.
Center stage, Don Mattingly premieres next.
Only on Yes.
The New Jersey Nets are heading to the NBA Finals, and Yes is your inside source. With special post-game coverage from Fred Hickman, Ian Eagle, Kelly Tripucka, and Leslie Bogosian, plus insider previews of the finals. The Yes Network is your home for extended Nets coverage.
Now time for the Corona Extra Effort. Who else can you give it to but Andy Pettitte? Andy Pettitte giving the Yankees exactly what they needed tonight. A great start. After losing 4 straight starts, he went 7 2/3, giving up the 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts to improve to 5-5 on the season. Yankees win at 11-3. Tomorrow night, the Yankees conclude this series with the Red Sox at the stadium. Right-handers Mike Messina and Derek Lowe will square off, and our coverage here on Yes begins with a pregame show at 6:30 Eastern Time, followed by the first pitch at 7:05. 5 Eastern. Until then, for Michael Kay, Jim Kaat, Bobby Murcer, Susan Waldman, and our entire Yes Network team, I'm Fred Hickman. Thanks so much for watching. And we remind you now to stay tuned next for Center Stage with Don Mattingly, hosted by Michael Kay. It's the premiere edition. We'll see you again tomorrow night right here on your home for Yankees baseball. Yes.
This has been a presentation of the Yes Network, your home for the 26-time world champion New York Yankees, the Eastern Conference champion Nets, and 14-time league champion Manchester United. The Yes Network, your home of champions.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the Yes Network.
Don, you have a button in front of you. You could either be a Hall of Famer or you could win one world championship with the Yankees. What button do you push?
World championship.
Why?
Well, it's the ultimate goal, really, for a player is to play on the highest stage and to be able to see how you'll perform on that stage. And to me, the Hall of Fame is kind of like icing on the cake. You play for the love of the game, that you love playing and you love performing in your sport, and that's something that you don't control anything with. You have no control of the Hall of Fame. You have control if you get a chance to play in the World Series, though.
That's Don Mattingly. I'm Michael Kay, and this is Center Stage. He may be the most beloved Yankee of all time. His Middle America values and his big city game endeared him to Yankee fans throughout his 14-year career in the Bronx. Don Mattingly bridged 2 eras in Yankee history and was the one shining light during one of the darkest periods in franchise history. There's also a Greek tragedy quality to the Mattingly mystique, as the great first baseman said goodbye right before the Yankees said hello again to championship baseball. Call him the captain, Donnie Baseball, or simply one of the class acts of his generation. Let's welcome Donald Arthur Mattingly to Center Stage. Welcome, Donnie. Thank you. Good place to start is right at the beginning. What's it like growing up in Evansville, Indiana?
Looking back now, I had a great childhood, had great parents, grew up with older brothers. We played ball all the time and just had a great time as a kid. Didn't really know, a lot of things you get a chance to see in the world as you grow up and see a lot of different things that happen in different families and different kids. I just kind of grew up, fortunate enough not to have to deal with any of that.
Now, you mentioned a family of athletes. How much did that influence what you became?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. It just totally influenced me because I just grew up at ballparks and fields and playing in the backyard. I just think it had a total influence on, it kind of molded me.
Did it push you that way?
It didn't push me. I never felt pushed. I was the one wanting to go, I was always the one riding the bike to the fields or, hooking up some guys, trying to get a game together. So I just love playing.
Now, you grew up in a blue-collar family. Your dad was a postal worker. And you were kind of a blue-collar player when you became a Major League Baseball player. Any coincidence that that kind of work ethic followed you into baseball?
You're molded by everything, different influence, coaches and things. And I think I was just fortunate to have guys that, believed in hard work and stressed working hard and improvement in your game. And I just kind of kept it simple and just kept trying to get better all the time. And,
so, you couldn't look your dad in the eye if you were skating, trying to get, the easy way to something. I mean, that probably wouldn't happen.
It's funny. I never got pushed in any way and never really even got questioned on motives or what are you doing or why aren't you working. It was just never even any conversation really about sports as far as he would go to the games. Both mom and dad would go to the games, show up there, and that was it. I mean, I never got criticized after the game, never got praised after the game.
Really?
We just went and played, and, looking back, it's like, that's kind of hard to do even as a parent now. I have trouble going to the games and not like after the game going, you got to take an extra base there. You got to, why are you doing that? It's kind of run down. You can't let him go and things like that. So I go now as almost like, it's like I don't really get to enjoy the games. I feel like I'm almost like everything's on a microscope and I'm going, the cutoff man should have been there. It's terrible. You can't even enjoy the games, But I'm getting better at it.
Now, I heard that you became a great opposite field hitter because of the configuration of your backyard. Is that true?
I think so. I don't know that for a fact, but there's a huge tree in our backyard, and we play wiffle ball a lot. And the only opening was like into left center over the garage, and if you hit it anything to right field, the tree just like ate it up. So it was like anything to left, you got a shot to get over the garage, and anything to right field had to be a total line drive. So I think it really, at that point, you know, you're trying to win a game. I'm just playing with my brothers, competing, not knowing what I'm doing, but I really think it did, in a sense, kind of mold my swing and how I kind of started out going the other way.
Now, you weren't only good in baseball, you were great in football and basketball. Why did you choose baseball? Why'd you go that route?
Well, I think baseball chose me.
Really?
You know, I wasn't great in the other sports.
Well, you told me you were great in basketball 100 times.
I thought I was until my freshman son's beating on me now. So I'm like, I probably wasn't that good. So,
but you love basketball.
Oh, I love it. I love to play it and love to watch it. But I really think baseball chose me. I've told a lot of people that. I really thought I wanted to play basketball in college and things like that. And you know, it happened to be that as a freshman, I'm playing varsity baseball. I get to play in the summer leagues, get seen by some scouts that freshman summer playing, and I was like, man, I'm doing okay in this. Right. And it's like baseball kind of all of a sudden I'm getting letters and things from scouts and colleges, and then that's when I thought, you know, baseball's probably what I do best.
Now, the Yankees got you in a late round. Is that because they thought you were going to college? Everybody thought you were going to college?
I don't understand the draft and all that. I probably understand it a lot more now than I did then. But, you know, honestly, if I really look back, and as a scout, I didn't run well. I didn't really have a strong arm. I didn't really hit for power at that point, and I could just basically hit. Right. So it was like, you know, you talk about a 5-tool player, I was probably a 1 on that scale. I had 1 tool, you know, in their eyes at that point. And so really, I shouldn't probably have been drafted a high pick.
Now, do you ever regret not going to college, and how close did you come to go to college? You had a scholarship offer, right?
Yeah.
A number of them.
I was dumb coming out of high school. I was. I told some kids the other day, man, I was getting scouted by Miami draft and wanting, you know, offered scholarships to Miami and Florida State, and like I was going to Indiana State, and I wanted to play baseball. I'm thinking, I was an idiot, you know. I mean, if you want to play baseball, you got to go south. But I never had any intention. In my mind, I didn't want to go to college. I just wanted to play. I think in my father's eyes, he wanted me to go to college. And I think that's just a conservative background that, you know, he was kind of the what if you don't make it, you know, you'll fall back on education and the whole thing. And when the Yankees offered me enough that would pay for my education, then I think he was fine with me going.
If one of your boys had the same talent and the same decision, would you have him go to college or sign as a high school player?
Well, with my boys right now, I'm trying to talk him into going to school. Yeah, honestly.
Really?
I just don't think he's as developed and as far along as I was at high school level. I think he's got a chance to be a great player because he keeps getting better and better. I think a 4-year program for him is probably the best bet if he wants to try to play baseball a while and give him a chance to keep developing. I just don't think he's ready for minor league baseball yet.
All right. He wasn't always donning Major League Baseball. He actually started a little bit lower. When we come back, the foundation that started a career as Center Stage continues.
Yankees baseball on Yes. Tomorrow, Jason Giambi and the Yanks look to stop the Sox when division powerhouses collide in another bash from the Bronx. Join Fred Hickman for complete pregame coverage tomorrow starting at 6:30, only on Yes.
What does it take to be a winner? Intensity, hard work, and proper nutrition. That's why I've made Pro Bites part of my everyday diet, because taking care of my body has let me pitch in the major leagues for 20 years. I know an all-star when I see one, and snack food just got healthy. Pro Bites, protein that goes crunch. So grab a bag and tell them the Rocket sent you.
Available at GNC, Smoothie King, and other fine health food stores.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the Yes Network, the home of champions.
Welcome back to Center Stage, and my guest is Yankee great Don Mattingly. Okay, so we leave you in the minor leagues. What's that like, playing in the minor leagues?
I thought it was great. You know, you get paid, getting to go to the park every day, play every day, sleep in, go to the park, you know. In the minor league cities, there's nothing else to do besides sleep in and go to the park.
The Waffle House.
Yeah, basically, steak and ale or something like that. But yeah, but I thought the minor leagues was, you know, I really enjoyed it, to be honest with you. And looking back, even kind of look at it even more fondly because it's a lot more like a family in a sense, even outside of the ballpark. In minor leagues, everybody's pretty much in the same boat. Everybody makes about the same money. Usually, when you go to a city, there's a minor league, they get you a couple of different apartment places you can choose. Usually everybody's almost at the same one. So every night after the game, it's kind of like, you know, coming over to my place or going to your place or hanging out at the pool or whatever. So it's really, you know, you're at the ballpark and there together. And as you get older and as you get closer to the big league, it seems like guys start to spread. And I don't think it's because you're at the big league. It's more because guys are getting older, getting families. You have kids. You want your own little area, you know, and you need that time away. Get to that point where it's like, you know, I need some time away from this ballpark too to keep my balance and keep my, you know, sanity for the most part. And it makes you a better player, I think, to get away.
Now, you're in the Yankee minor league system, and at that time, the Yankees are known as an organization that doesn't give minor leaguers a chance. They usually go out and get somebody.
Right.
Is that tough to deal with? I mean, was that on your mind?
When you're in A ball and rookie ball and Double A and stuff, you're not really thinking about the big leagues. At least I wasn't. I know now they kind of start jumping guys, but at that point, I was looking just to hope I could just take another step each year. And I didn't start thinking about the big leagues until probably Double A during the strike. I think the strike in '81, Yogi was down, and all of a sudden I'd heard some talk about me possibly being called up or whatever. And I started all of a sudden thinking about the big leagues a little bit.
And that changed your focus a little bit?
No, not really.
Still went about it the same way?
The same way. And then in Columbus the next year, still pretty much you want to take one step at a time. I didn't really feel like I was ready, and I don't think I was at that time.
Now, one of the knocks against you when you were young, coming up through the system, well, he can hit. He can hit for average, but he's not going to hit for power. Now, did you grow into your power, or did you actually try to correct something and make yourself hit home runs?
No, I think I grew into my power. The thing about me, I never put any importance on home runs. I always I wanted to hit like 400 every year. You know, I hit 350 and I felt like I was having a bad year in the minor leagues early. But I always drove in runs. And so I never worried. I thought, what do I care if I hit home runs? I'm hitting 8 home runs, but I'm driving in 105, 110. So I was a little different in the sense that, you know, it wasn't like I was hitting 350 with no damage. And I was still a lot of doubles. I just hit a lot of balls, you know, with topspin at that point, and started getting into mechanics now. But as I got a little older, you know, I got around Lou Piniella and stuff, and he kind of showed me how to backspin the ball, and by trying to do that, all of a sudden my power just kind of, the balls that I was hitting just as good enough to be out of the ballpark was hitting with topspin. Now I got backspin and the ball carried, and I was hitting home runs.
Now, as you get closer, I think when you were in Columbus, the Yankees are signing guys like Dave Collins, and they're signing guys like Ken Griffey Sr., and they're all playing first base. At that point, are you starting to get a little chapped?
No, not really.
Nothing upset you?
No.
You just knew it was going to happen?
No, not really. I had an outlook of, I was playing the outfield a lot too then, and I always looked at that as an advantage. I was playing right, and I was playing left, and I could play some first. I didn't really get to play much first in the minor leagues at all. But my outlook was, you know what, I don't care what the Yankees do with other players. If I go out and keep putting up numbers, and I go out and keep being productive, then either I'm going to force their hand. They're either going to bring me up, or they're going to trade me and get somebody good for me.
So how do you finally get to the big leagues? What's the thing that gets you up there? Was it Yogi who pushed it?
I don't know, really. I really feel like I got to come up at the end of '82. '82 was so good for me because I got to travel with the team. You learn how to, you know, get your luggage here, then you can get to the ballpark. I knew where the team hotel was at that point, you know. It was like all these little fears because, you know, my wife's going to come up and stuff. Where do we stay? Those are all fears that a young player has because he doesn't know where to go. And, you know, getting that out of the way in '82. And also, I was there for a month, but didn't really get to play. But I got to see the pitching every day. And at that point, I was really able to decide in my mind. I seen the pitching, and I thought, you know what? If I get a chance, I can hit here.
Really?
And it was just, the next year I went to spring training, I went with a whole different confidence. The first year in '82, I hadn't really been to the big leagues. So all those fears were still there when I went to spring training. In '83, when I went to spring training, I went with an idea that I can play there.
Remember your first at bat?
Yeah, Jim Slayton, I think. He threw me nothing fastball right over the plate, and I popped it up like third or something.
Are you dying nervous?
Not really nervous, but, you know, I guess probably a little bit. I don't remember being nervous. But I just know I should have crushed that pitch. And I was like, man, how did I miss that thing? Golly, I'm thinking, how did I miss that?
Remember your first hit?
I think off a guy it's against Boston, and I can't remember his name.
Single?
Single in between first and second, and I'd face this guy in the minor leagues, and he's kind of a sinker baller, so I had an idea how to approach him and stuff.
Anybody on the team that helped you, that really made the adjustment easier? A veteran that took you under his wing?
Oh, ton of guys.
Really?
I mean, if you can go back to the guys I came up with, Willie, Nettles, Goose, Lou, Mercer, Gamble. I mean, this is a crew now. You know, this is not the choir boy Yankees, you know. But Goose and Willie and his family, they were good because they would come get Kim. Corner would come get Kim and take her to the ballpark, and they'd take us downtown with them when they went downtown. And there was a place, Orrin and the Redskins at that point, a lot of guys used to hang out, and he'd take us with him, you know, and we didn't know what we were doing, but we were just kind of hanging out, you know, and that really made the difference as far as, you know, how the older guys treated you know.
Is that why you treated? Because a lot of younger players say they were always amazed at how nice Don Mattingly treated them. Did you remember that?
I think it's a lot of it because Goose would not let you pay. He's like, man, you don't even think about paying for anything.
Really?
Yeah, Goose was, you know, Goose, he doesn't say it in those terms. It's kind of like, you MF and mother. Yeah. He don't hold anything back. Don't you even think about it, you little, you know. So, so, you know, Goose, you know, he said, you take care of the young guys when they come up. So that's the way it was for me.
Well, when we come back, Don Mattingly goes from being a Yankee to the Yankee. Stay with us for that.
Benitez tagging. Mattingly makes the catch.
The greatest curse in sports.
There's no greater theater than Yankees Red Sox.
The greatest comeback in sports.
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent.
The greatest rivalry in sports. The rivalry that Ruth built. Premieres tomorrow at 10:30 only on Yes.
The Staten Island Yankees are one pitch away. Yes! The Baby Bombers are the 2002 champions!
Individual tickets, season tickets, and mini plans are on sale now. For more information, call 718-720-9200 or visit us on the web at siyanks.com. Staten Island Yankees. Real baseball. Real champions. Real close.
We're back with Center Stage. I'm talking with Don Mattingly. Don, take me with you the first time you walk inside Yankee Stadium. What's that like?
It's awesome. What I remember, I think, more vividly than anything, is walking down through the dugout and looking up into the left field stands. And it's just amazing place. You come in, all the concrete and buildings and everything else around. Then when you get to actually walk in the stadium and see that grass and the stadium. And at that time, I was playing left field, so that's why I'm looking out there. So I'm thinking, man, this place is big.
Goosebumps?
Oh yeah, it's a great feeling because it's, you know, at that point you're basically realizing a dream or one of your goals, and at that point you need to redefine after that.
Well, you end up redefining because you really burst upon the scene in '84. '83, you're getting your feet wet. '84, you end up winning the batting title. You're battling Dave Winfield till the last day, and it's weird. The whole city seems to be on your side. Was that awkward for you?
A little bit.
Why do you think that was? You know, we had Dave here, and you know, kind of hinted maybe there was racial overtones to it. You know, the fact that you were the homegrown Yankee. Did any of that enter into your mind?
It didn't into mine because if you look at it from my standpoint, I was in a no-lose situation. You know, I was a rookie. It was my first year. I mean, I played in '83, and there was a lot of stuff that went on in '83 that kind of helped me a lot. But it was really my first full season of getting the chance to play every day. I was no lose. I was hitting 330, either first or second. And the batting title was going to be fine for me. You know, I feel like I was having a good year. Obviously, you want to win it. You know, I mean, that's just the way you are as a competitor. And then as I got older, I looked at it from, you know, Dave's point of view, and you know, he's a free agent that came over, wasn't part of the organization the whole time. It's almost natural to be for the underdog, and I was the underdog. Period, you know. So I think it was more natural to kind of root for me. And, you know, I didn't realize all the stuff that Dave was going through. I was, you know, young and dumb and having fun. So
was it tough interacting with him? Because obviously you knew the crowd was for you and he knew the crowd was against him. Was it tough dealing with him?
He made it easy for me.
Really?
He treated me great. And You know, and I've told a lot of people since and told Dave, you know, the way he treated me made me comfortable. He could have made me very uncomfortable, you know, as a veteran guy, older guy. And I look back and have a lot of respect for him from that point of view, that, you know, the way he treated me was with a lot of class.
In '85, you win the MVP. How important was that for you? Because now you're not the underdog, you're the batting champion, and you go out and have a season for the ages to win the MVP. What was that like?
It was a lot of fun. Trust me, that was a blast doing that. You know, kind of, and starting to do things that I didn't know I was capable of. You know, that year I really hammered on left-handed pitching. Hit a lot of home runs off left-handed pitching. Learned to hit the slider a lot better. Learned to look for the ball in different spots. Pinella, again, helping me kind of make adjustments as a hitter. But, you know, my feeling going into that season, and I came off, you know, after '84, I had knee surgery. And that made me nervous coming into the early part of '85. Didn't have any spring training, had about maybe 15 at-bats in spring, so I was kind of nervous. Hadn't slid into a base until opening day. And so I was kind of nervous about that. But again, I wanted to come out and prove that '84 was not a fluke. And so, you know, basically, I'm going to do it again.
Did it take a little of the luster away? You win the batting title, you win the MVP, but the team doesn't win. Yeah, it definitely takes luster away. And we had some great teams during that period. But again, I think at that point, you know, you don't have the foresight of the rest of your career. You know, I thought we were going to be in the hunt every year. Right. I thought, I'm going to be in the postseason a ton. With this team, we're going to get a chance to get in postseason. So at that point, you know, you've had a good year. You're definitely disappointed about not making it, but you think, okay, next year, we'll be there next year. Well, it took a long time for next year to get there, and the team gets bad, your back gets bad. Everything's kind of crumbling at the same time. I mean, how do you deal with that? Do you start to wonder, gee, can I do this anymore? Yeah, there was times, you know, after '85, '86, '87, there's some years in there, but, you know, you think when you're young and you're playing and you get hurt, you think, so what, I'm coming back, you know? But after time, you do it once, you do it twice, it starts to humble you a lot more, that you think, you know, my body's just not coming back the way it should. And at that point, you start to come to realizations, and, you know, that's tough. Now, those were weird years, and the weirdest year of all, and the weirdest thing in the weirdest year, your hair got a little bit long. Right. And they asked you to cut your hair. Right. And, I mean, you were the All-American boy. They called you Jack Armstrong in pinstripes, and here they are telling you to get a haircut. Yeah. How was that? It was tough, really. It was kind of a tough... What was that about? I don't know, really. I really don't. It wasn't like I was the only one. You know, our whole team had long hair. Right. The whole league at that point, it was Oakland and Eckersley and all these guys had, you know, it's just that's the way it was going on right then. You know, they kind of offended me from the standpoint, it's like either cut it or don't play. And they didn't tell anybody else in the clubhouse to either cut it or don't play. And I don't know, I'd watched so many people come through the organization as I sit and thought about it. You know, we always took in the guys that had struggled, that came off of rehab or something else that had, you know, drug problems, all that stuff. We always give a second chance to, which is great, you know. But I thought, man, I'm in camp on time, in shape, no trouble, and I'm getting singled out, you know. And that's the part that bothered me, I think, more than anything. Those bad years, that thing happening, the team floundering, was there ever a point where you go, maybe I'll go play somewhere else, maybe they'll appreciate me somewhere else? Oh, a little bit, you know. Yeah? Think about that. But, you know, you always think about the other side, especially when you're in the bottom of the heap, you know. Right. You think, boy, it'd be nice to be in Oakland right now, you know, or it'd be nice to be here right now because you're winning, you know. And as you get older, you don't care about anything but winning. Right. You know, I mean, numbers at that point don't make not that big of a difference to you. You just want to win. So, yeah, you think about it. But when you get down, you get quiet, and you get to the off season, it's like, man, you don't want to go. When we come back, Don Mattingly helps the Yankees climb back to the precipice of greatness. Stay with us for more Center Stage right after this.
Yankees action is so hot, it's worth watching twice. And you'll see it all on Yankees Encore. When the game is over, relive the great plays of 2003 Yankees baseball. Yankees Encore. Coming up next, only on Yes.
Hi, I'm Mike Messina, and you're watching Yes.
Thanks for joining us on Center Stage. Our guest is Don Mattingly, and Donnie, we went through the bad times, and then finally, the team goes back to what it was. '94, they're in first place. You're going to get to go to your first postseason. Strike. I mean, are you thinking, what's going on? Is this ever going to happen for me?
A little bit. A little bit.
I mean, how gut-wrenching was that? I mean, that was a really good team.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was a tough time. I was really surprised. I didn't think it would go that far. I mean, I thought it would be settled, to be honest with you. I don't think everybody did.
You ever sit at home as the commissioner's going on the camera and going, that's it, there's going to be no World Series, and go, huh?
I was just kind of, I guess, shocked in the sense that the season was going to get, called off like that. I thought for sure they'd have, the playoffs and possibly a, short end of the season and going to the playoffs.
Next year, Yankees start off poorly. It looks like they're not going to make the playoffs, and then you guys go off on an incredible run. And I always remember this one image. You guys won that game in Toronto that you had to win to clinch to go into the postseason, and you went down to one knee and kind of banged the turf. What were you thinking then? That you'd finally reached the promised land?
I was thinking the guy that gives all the promises out. Definitely. I was thanking God, man, for giving me an opportunity. It was a long time coming. I could not. It was just a great ending. I felt like. In my heart, in my mind, I knew it probably was my last year, and I just wanted to get into the postseason and have a chance. It was a great feeling.
I remember.